How about check it again? No, yeah. Good. And now be open. That seems like a Christina. That seems like a Christina movie. All right, Shalom. We are the Hebrew Israelites. We come out every week to prophesy the downfall of this wicked kingdom called America, also known as Babylon in the scriptures. All right, and the downfall of the dragon, the Roman Empire revives back upon this earth again, and Esau in general, man, their rulership upon this earth, basically about to fall, man. All right, but before we do so, we want to give praises to the Most High and His Son Yahushua in the true Hebrew before we do any epistle. All right, we say Kal, Alayim, La, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Ha, Rakah, Kodash, Ma. All right, double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders, and shalom to you, Akim, and Nakwati, the children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. As you know, every time you want to bring this word out, you got to battle against the wicked forces that are lingering out here. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, let's continue with this lesson. We're gonna go into Revelation 20 and give some little extra clarity and edification on Revelation 20, dealing with the fall of the Roman Empire for 1,000 years. All right, and dealing with Septimius Severus. So let's get into it.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 20, in verse 1. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit.
Right. Let's stop there. All right. No, matter of fact, let you read it. Then we're going to go back. All right, brother.
All right. I'm starting at the top again. This is the book of Revelations, chapter 20, in verse 1. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand.
Right. So now that chain, that angel that is talking about there is Yahushua. All right. So let's get a precept on that real quick. Yeah, get that real quick.
This is Revelation chapter 1, verse 18. It says, I am he that liveth and was dead.
Right. So this is Yahushua, our king, a so-called Negro from the tribe of Judah. All right. The son of the living power, Yahweh. Okay. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He said he's the one that's living and was dead. Now, the situation that happened with the Roman Empire, their deadly wound being healed, them receiving a deadly wound and it being healed, that was the Lord showing two things. One, that he's existing out in the heavens and he rules in the kingdom of men, and that he's still alive to this day. Even though Esau's in rulership, the Lord is controlling them. And then two, he's showing Esau that he set that standard there, that part of the story, for 1,000 years, so it would be written as proof of who they are, that they're the dragon, that they're the devil, that they're Satan, that the Bible speaks of, that the Lord was speaking to them. So in these last days, where Esau is being revealed, it's coming out about the deadly wound that was healed, you know, through the revising of the Roman Empire, okay, with the EU in America. Let's go. You got it.
It says, this is Revelation chapter 1, verse 18.
Right.
It says, I am he that liveth and was dead.
Right, man.
And behold, I am alive forevermore.
Right. So he's alive forevermore. Okay. So Yahushua is ruling right now. You know, our king is on the throne out in the heavens, man. He's got to take his footstool, which is this earth. All right.
It says, are mine, and have the keys of hell and death.
And he has the keys. What does the key represent? That represents the power that was given to him to be able to shut somebody up or to free them. That's why we ended up in slavery, because we didn't listen to our God, man, Yahweh, and son Yahushua, so-called Negro from the tribe of Judah, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right. And because our people were being wicked, that's why we went into slavery. So he has the keys, the power to put us in the chains or to free us. The Lord also has the power to put the Esau, the one they call the Caucasian race, the Roman Empire, he has the power to bind them up as well. That's what he was showing us. He had the power to bind them up for 1,000 years and to free them, man. Let them loose for a little season, like a pet. All right. Can somebody get Revelation 3 and 7. That's right, man. So the Lord has that key. He has the keys, man, the power, unlimited power to be able to free a nation or to put them in bondage, you know, on a low degree.
This is Revelation chapter 3, verse 7.
That's right.
And to the angel of the church in Philadelphia, write, these things saith he that is holy, he that is true, he that hath the key of David.
That's Yahushua. Yahushua has the key of David. All right, the key to free, the keys to free the tabernacle of David as well, man. Go ahead.
It says, he that openeth and no man openeth.
Right, so he's the one that openeth and no man open. It says what?
Oh, so like,
yeah.
It says, he that openeth and no man shut it.
That's right. See, that opening means what? Letting somebody free. All right. And the Lord said he has opened doors to us in the spirit. You see that? That no man can shut. But what happened when he let Esau run rampant on the earth? You see that? But what happened when he decides to bind Esau up? He can do it anytime he wants. Go ahead, brother.
It says, and shutteth and no man openeth.
See that? So when he decides to shut these devils up in the European mountains, and he shut them down by using Septimius Severus to scatter those nations and take down 3 Roman emperors or 3 emperors. You know what I mean? That's the Lord showing his power. And not that Septimius Severus was anybody righteous. Septimius Severus was actually wicked. He actually worshipped Serapis Christi. He actually paid sacrifice to Pompey at the temple of Serapis. All right, so he was a Serapis believer. All right, go ahead, brother. But the Lord still used him.
Verse 8.
Go ahead, brother.
Verse 8. It says, I know thy works.
Oh, that was it. That was
okay.
All right, let's go back to this. Points on it again.
Get a precept real quick.
Come on, definitely.
All right, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, in verse 39. See now that I am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal.
Right, so the Lord wounded the dragon. All right, the deadly wound, that was the Lord that wounded him, and he's the one that healed him. All right.
Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand.
That's right, man. Nobody can. That's showing the Lord's power, man.
Yeah.
By the western leg of the Roman Empire finally breaking down and falling, you know, once the Lord laid that wound to them and they fell ultimately around 410 AD, that was the Lord showing his power that he could wound and he could heal in the earth, man. Yahushua, by the power of Yahweh. Go ahead, brother.
All right, this is Revelations chapter 20 and verse 2.
Yep.
And he laid hold on the dragon.
Yep, go ahead. Start from one.
All right, this is Revelations chapter 20, verse 1. Yep. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit in a great chain in his hand.
Right, so the bottomless pit represents that whole area from Britain all the way to Western Europe and Eastern Europe. All right, okay, so that's what the bottomless pit represents. You know, however y'all want to do it. All right, and the bottomless pit represents what? A low condition, a wicked place. All right, a lowly ass people. Go ahead, brother.
And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years.
Right. So how did he bind up Satan, the so-called Edomite, the Caucasian race? How did he bind them up in the Roman Empire? All right, and it's important because it's showing you who our adversary is. That our adversary was still around even to this day, because it speaks about him. And what's that? Revelation 12. We ain't gotta get it, but it says we gonna probably get it later. Where it speaks about Michael, the angel, rising up and fighting them in these last days. The devil and Satan, you know. So it says what he laid hold on the dragon, right? So that shows that Yahushua, he used men to go take down these devils. He used one man, steered his mind, stirred up his mind the same way the Lord stirred up Samson to fight against the Philistines. All right. So he used Septimius Severus to sever off Esau's power over there in Europe. Okay. And he, if you look into the history, Septimius Severus is the reason for the London Wall. Right. Oh, so now let's get some understanding on that. Now go to verse 3. So he bound him 1,000 years, right? So that 1,000-year period, somebody got the Revelation 9, I think it is. Revelation 9. He was bound and loose, I think it is. But anyway, yeah, he might be loose a little season. Where's that? It's start from 1.
All right, this is Revelation chapter 9, verse 1. And the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth.
Okay, yeah. We can still go into it. Go ahead.
God, and
that's not what I wanted though, but go ahead. Now you get it perfect.
And to him was given the key of the bottomless pit.
Right. So this right here helps you to understand. Every time it speaks about the bottomless pit, it's talking about that area over there in Europe. All right, the bottomless pit. This specific scripture is talking about Kaiser Wilhelm. All right, the Germans over there in during World War, what was that? World War One. Thank you, brother. All right, World War One. Kaiser Wilhelm. All right. So the Lord gave him the key to Europe to go to war over there. You see that? He gave him freedom, basically opened it up for him. All right. Now let's get off of that real quick. Go back again. Real quick.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 20, in verse 3.
Right.
And cast him into the bottomless pit.
Right. So he cast him into it, meaning brought him to a low degree, basically destroyed. All right, go ahead.
And shut him up.
And shut him up. Let's get that real quick. We got a lot of shit out here, right? Somebody get Job chapter 12 and 14. And Revelations 20. Okay, I seen that. Job 12 and 14, you know? Yep, we already got Revelation 3 and 7.
Job 12 and 14.
Right, so this shows what the Lord is talking about, where he said he shut him up there. Basically put a seal on him and started breaking them down, man. Breaking down their power structure. All right, the same way the Lord is breaking down the power structure of Esau today. All right,
Job 12 and 14. It says, behold, he breaketh down.
Oh, louder, brother.
All right, it's Isaiah 12 and 14.
Right,
Job 12 and 14. Shalaki. Yep. It says, behold, he breaketh down, and it cannot be built again.
Oh, see that? The Lord break it down, and it cannot be built again. See that? Why? Somebody get that? The Lord rules in the kingdom of men. That's right. So once the Lord tears you down, that's what he means by casting him into the bottomless pit. It shut him up, meaning he broke them down. He started breaking down their power seats over there in the Roman Empire. He used Septimius Severus to sever off 3 different emperors. All right, we're gonna go into the history of it. You know, go ahead, brother.
And this is Daniel chapter 4 and verse 17. Yeah, this matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and set up over it the basis of men.
That's right. That's right here. I think it turns. Wait, is it this one? Or is it this one?
So God, the Heavenly Father, he rules in the kingdom of men, and he setteth up who he wants. He puts down one, and he brings up one. Because the Most High, he ruleth in the kingdom of men. This is his property. This is his show.
Right.
So he's in control.
Right, man. So Hey, the Lord said it, man. This is by the decree of the watchers. Who's the watchers? The angels, and also his men upon earth. All right, we're the watchers. Now, and this is by the decree that the Lord rules in the kingdom of men. He uses like chess pieces, man. Chaturanga, north, east, west, and south. The Lord's running everything. All right. Even when we see Babylon ruling, when we see the Persians ruling, when we see the Assyrians ruling, when we see the Greeks, Edomites ruling, we still know that our power is on the throne, ruling in the spirit, controlling the heart of men. What do you say? The king's heart is in his hand. Yeah, but Baba Shah, get that one. Yeah, go ahead.
Back at Job 12 and 14, it says, "Behold, he breaketh down, and it cannot be built again."
Right. So the Lord broke them down, and they couldn't build it. They couldn't fight against it, man. You had times where Septimius Severus, he had storms fighting with him. The Lord would send thunderstorms to back him. The Lord would send eagles to scare the shit out of certain emperors, like Niger over in Syria. All right. The Lord would send honey patches around the armies, and there'd be bees the next day, and so they had to retreat. There's one dude named Niger, you know. But anyway, so let's go to a little history. Let's go ahead and read, brother.
Come on. It says,
right now.
it says he breaketh down, and it cannot be built up
Right. So
again.
Right. So once the Lord breaks it down, look, the Lord broke us down. We can't build nothing unless He builds us up. And the Lord, they've been trying to build up the temple for the longest, you know. But the Lord gave us a way to build it through the Spirit, edification. All right, He's showing us that we can't do nothing without Him.
It says he shutteth up a man, and there can be no opening.
That's right, man. Without the Lord, we can't go take this damn place down. We can't take these devils down. Without the Lord giving them the green light, those devils couldn't take us into slavery. So once the Lord, what do you say? Shut it up, right? Read that again.
It says,
Come on now.
he says, he shutteth up a man, and there can be no opening.
Right, it's just the man. See that? And that man is Esau. So the Lord shut him up and broke him down. That's what it represents when it says the bottomless pit. He broke him down over there in Europe. All right? Go ahead, Devin.
It's the book of Malachi, chapter 1 and verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build a desolate places.
They've been trying to rebuild it ever since Herod. All right? They became impoverished as a nation. That's why they were the bottomless pit. You see that? That impoverished nation, that's a blood-sucking, consuming nation, man. Well, they enlarged their desires as hell. So over there in Europe, which was the hot seat for the devil and Satan, which was Esau, they were destroying that place. When they ran out of resources, they set up what you would call the slave trade, trying to come over here to find resources. See that? And look what they did to this place. All right? That's why it's called the bottomless pit over in Europe. Go ahead, brother.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever.
That's right. See that? And now we're calling them the border of wickedness. All right? And he said, what? They have built the Roman Empire, and the Lord threw them down. And the Lord allowed them to build it again. He's gonna throw it down again. All right, they shall build, but the Lord gonna continue to throw it down. See that? All right.
Hey, so make America great again, to build back better.
Come on with it. Yeah, build back better. Really represents 666. Goes back to paganism. All right. Somebody hold the precept. No, you know. So the Lord broke them down in the Roman Empire. All right, around 193 AD. And it really started, Apostle Hart bring this out a lot. We were talking about this earlier. Nerva. All right. Nerva was a Jake. And he didn't really take rulership. What happened was Nerva, if you look him up, he was the one that protected Nero from being assassinated. He actually went and snitched. So that's how Nerva got into power. And then during the time of Domitian and Titus and Domitian around 71 AD, you know, the Flavian dynasty, going up to around 90 AD with Domitian, right? Domitian was fond of Nerva. All right, Nerva was known as a loyalist. So when Domitian was killed around, I think it was September 1st, 96 AD, Domitian was killed by the Praetorian Guard. All right, once he was killed, Domitian, they set up Nerva as the emperor. See that? So that's how Nerva got in power. But you can tell Nerva was a Jake because he removed all the taxes from Israel. All the taxes that the Roman Empire put on us during the time that started the revolt in 66 AD. That was the first revolt, which Titus and Vespasian was sent in there to burn down that temple. And Domitian set up, built the, what you call it, the Colosseum, off the gold and all the goods that they stole from Jerusalem with Titus. And he built it as a commemoration to Titus. He built what's it called, the Ark of Titus. All right, so Domitian, once he died, you had a lot of Edomites that were mad about that, because you had a Jake ruling them. All right, so what happened was, once Nerva was in power, these damn Edomites went and grabbed Nerva and said, "Yo, you gotta go get them that killed Domitian." They basically wanted Edomite back in power. You know what I'm saying? They wanted Edomite on the seat. And he said, "Yo, you gotta go kill him." And Nerva was like, "No, I'm not into that." So they kidnapped him and held him hostage. These Edomites kidnapped Nerva and held him hostage and forced Nerva to adopt an Edomite as his child. You see that? So he adopted Trajan. A lot of kings did that in the Roman Empire. They couldn't have their child as a ruler, like Constantine. That's how he became ruler. Maximian adopted him because Constantine's dad was named Constantine Chlorus. So they adopted each other's children, you know, to rule the Western versus Eastern Roman Empire. So you have Nerva. And then once Trajan got into power, they called Trajan like the perfect emperor. When he was a devil, man, he was known as a pedophile. That's right, man. So that lets you know why Esau has that mindset of being pedophiles. All of them were taken advantage of. So they grow up and do the same thing. All right, hurt people. All right. So, but after Trajan, when Trajan died, he had a stroke. Right. When he was dying, one of his wives set up somebody else named Hadrian. All right. I took him back getting mad. He's mad. As much as the sodomites down here. But they set up this guy named Hadrian. And once Hadrian got set up, that's when you get the battle of Bar Kokhba. Bar Kokhba. All right, Bar Kokhba. All right, it's called Bar Kokhba. And that was the last revolt. See how I come together? All right. I'm gonna yell this way. You feel me? But it was called the Battle of Bar Kokhba. Let's give her a chance. Wait. All right, it was called the Battle of Bar Kokhba, and it was the last revolt of the Jews. That's how you know Trajan and Hadrian were Edomites. See that? They were back in power, and they went up against the Jews again in the last revolt, which was called the Battle of Bar Kokhba. See that? All right, and that was around 117 AD. Okay, and after Hadrian, he had a you know what they doing down there, sodomite. Yeah, he had a male, you know, whatever relationship, you know, wicked. And I forgot this guy named Tony. I didn't want to know his name. You get what I'm saying? He's the forgotten. So he became the next emperor. This guy, right? But then after him, that's when you get a guy named Pertinax. All right, Pertinax. Pertinax was an Edomite ruler of the Roman Empire. All right, but during that time, you have Pertinax, right? But then during that time, you had Septimius Severus, who was a Jake. He was known as an African. All right. Septimius Severus, who was a Jake, known as an African, who was a pagan, right? He actually went to college. People don't know this. He went to college. He went to the what you call that? Like a legal school. And then you know, so he went to college and he started working his way into the Senate. He started down some. All right, he started working his way into the Senate. That was his goal, to be a part of the Senate. All right. So Septimius Severus was fighting just to get into the Senate. He didn't go fight against the Romans right away. You know, he was fighting just like Jake tried to work their way in the ranks today. And he finally made it to the community of the Senate. All right, but he wasn't a senator yet. When he finally became senator, he went back to what's it called, Phoenicia or Libya, where he was born at, called the Punics. That's when you get into the 300 and all them. All right, they were called Phoenicians or the Punics. But anyway, he went back to that land and he saw somebody that knew him like a brother, and they ran up to him and hugged him, and he was like, he had him flogged, meaning whipped. He said, "Yo, you're not supposed to be touching the senator." So that shows you what type of person this Jake was, man. And he was a Jake. I got proof. I got pictures. His actual pictures from his gravesite in his house that's sitting up in his house today. All right. And if somebody can pull it up, I can show you which one. But it might not be able to find it, but if it might. You know, just type in Septimius Severus Negro or something like that. If you scroll through the images, I can show you which one. Him and his wife. All right, his second wife. But anyway, so now, now this is the correlation between Pertinax the Edomite and Septimius Severus. Pertinax was killed in 193 AD. You see that? By what was called the Praetorian Guard. Once he was killed, it was like a coup d'etat. They raised up against him. Now, Pertinax was the Edomite that raised up Septimius Severus in the Roman Empire. He believed in him. You know what I mean? Just raised him up and gave him his seat. So, in the north, away from the Roman Empire. So once Septimius Severus came into power and they killed Pertinax, they set up somebody else, man. What was his name, man? What the fuck was his name, man? I can't remember this guy's name. It was an Edomite. All right? It was an Edomite that they set up. Now they set up, because the Praetorian Guard, once they killed Pertinax, this other Edomite, there's a lot of distractions out here today, man. This other Edomite showed up and he paid the Praetorian Guard to be the emperor. You see that? He said, "Yo, y'all killed Pertinax. Now set me up as the ruler, and I'll pay you." So he paid the Praetorian Guard. Septimius Severus was like, "Yo, y'all killed my friend Pertinax." So that's what the Lord used to start off Septimius Severus' conquest. See that? All right. He called himself the Avenger of Pertinax. Septimius Severus' goal was not to take over, to kill the Roman Empire. His goal was to avenge his friend, an Edomite that established him in the Roman Empire. All right. So now, once Septimius Severus in 193 in January, he went up there to go against the Praetorian Guard, and I forgot this guy's name, man. Julianus. I could be wrong on that one, though. I don't want to say his name and be wrong. But it was an Edomite. Now, they had a court to where Septimius Severus said, "Yo, this guy killed Pertinax." And once they found out, they put him to death, cut off his head, and they set up Septimius Severus as the new emperor. See that? So he became the new emperor. Now you had a Jake ruling the Roman Empire, finally sitting on the throne. And the first thing Septimius Severus wanted to do was to go after those Praetorian Guards. So he started chasing them towards Byzantium. That's how he ended up in Byzantine, Istanbul. He started chasing them that way, following them, fighting them the whole way, until he finally cornered them near Syria, all right, in the east. And that's what drove Septimius Severus towards the east, to go against Parthia, which would be Iran. All right, the Roman Empire couldn't conquer Parthia. All right, but Septimius Severus did. The Roman Empire couldn't conquer Britain, but Septimius Severus did. You see that? So he went towards the east, and now you have somebody named a Roman emperor named Niger, who rose himself up over there in Syria. All right, I'm almost to the point. Over there in Syria, at the same time when Septimius Severus was ruling. So what happened was Septimius Severus said, I gotta go against him too now. We're gonna take him down. So he took them down over in Syria. That's how he took Syria. He set his brother up over there, and they fought against him. Boom. Next thing you know, this is crazy distraction, right? Next thing you know, when he was going after Niger, Niger was like, yo, we're gonna go battle with him right there outside of Syria. As he was going to battle against Septimius Severus, he was real superstitious, and he had a standard. You know, the standard was like a staff that they would use. You see that coming, you know, this is our standard. You feel me? So they would have a staff. You will see the eagle standard for the Roman Empire. So Septimius Severus, he had the Roman standard, you know, the eagle. This guy, he had a Syrian standard, you know, Edomite Syrian. So that standard, he was standing there one day, he said an eagle landed on top of it. So it scared the shit out of him. And then the next day, a bunch of bees showed up. It scared him. And he said, you know what, let's turn back, because a thunderstorm came. So it was Septimius Severus, his brother, and his allies, and the storms were fighting against this guy Niger, man. Basically, the Lord was helping Septimius Severus win his wars. You see that? So he took Syria. The next thing you know, he wanted to go take Alexandria. All right? That's when he went into Alexandria. But on the way, he started praying to Pompey. He did a sacrifice to Serapis, which Serapis goes back to the bull, the Egyptian bull. And today called Zeus, which goes to the name Jesus. All right? So, and on his way to Alexandria, he took Alexandria. So and then he became Caesar when he got to Rome, man. All right, so he took down 3 different kings. But then later on, his last conquest, around 208 AD, before his death in 211, he died of natural causes. He had the gout. And he was fighting in the battle when he died. He said his son killed him. You know, it's written that he probably killed him. All right, his son was a Jake, man. You see him like this. He looked like a Mississippi Maniac. With hairline down here and shit. Yeah, it's like Burke. Yeah, man. So that was a shot, but it's all good. Yeah, man. So in 208, what's his name? Septimius Severus. He had to help out what you would call Britannia or Britain. All right, that's what we were talking about yesterday. So you had the northern part of Britain and the southern part. That's why they're still fighting today over there in Ireland. All right, the separation over there. So the Roman Empire couldn't take all of Britain. I think it was the countryside they couldn't get. So the part of Britain that Septimius Severus and the Roman Empire did have, because of Septimius Severus, they called on Septimius Severus and said, we need some help. We're being attacked from the countryside. And then that's when Septimius Severus went and established what you call Scotland today. All right? So he conquered Scotland, and he conquered, he also established what's called the London Wall. So if you see the London Wall, he put that up to stop the countryside from coming against him, coming against the Britain. All right? So it's a lot of proof over there in Europe about Septimius Severus, man, about his existence and how the Lord used him. All right, so that's the understanding going from the 1st century AD, which would really take you to like 193 AD, right? That's when Pertinax was killed. So that conquest led all the way up until 198. That's when Septimius Severus finally conquered Parthia, and he established his son as Caesar. Because that was important. He needed a Caesar, somebody that would become the next one. Yeah. So that was official then. You know? So that's what the Lord said. He severed off those nations. He severed off the standing Roman Empire at that time, man. Meaning started breaking them down. He did, Because if you look at a chain doesn't go on your whole body. It goes on what? Part of your body. So he broke down part of the Roman Empire, which led up to ultimately the fall of the Roman Empire, going up to 410 AD. All right. So if you go from the 2nd century with Septimius Severus all the way up to 1266 AD with the Ottoman Turks coming out and taking Constantinople, taking back the Byzantine Empire, that's your 1,000-year period right there. And their deadly wound was completely healed, well, being reestablished, was called the Renaissance period, all the way up until what's called the Treaty of Rome, to America today. All right. So that's your understanding on the 1,000-year period. Now let's get back to it. All right. So that shows you the power of the Lord, man. The Lord stirred up this man to take down 3 emperors, man. 3 ruling and currently ruling emperors at that time, and took down the Parthians, something that the Roman Empire couldn't do, and took Britain as well. You know, conquered it. All right, but he was still a wicked person, man. Go ahead, bro.
All right, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the river of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will.
Right. So the Lord turned Septimius Severus' heart the way he wanted to, and steered him the way he wanted to. Even steered Pertinax and these Edomites the way he wanted to steer them. All right. So you have the name Severus, just means to sever. All right. And the word Septimius means 7 or complete. All right. So he completely took over what would be called the bottomless pit, or what would be called Europe today. And he had Esau in the lower degree. All right. They wasn't focused on color back then. It wasn't about that. It wasn't about the color. You got research, anybody? All right. Yeah, go back to that again now.
All right, this is the book of Revelations, chapter 20, and verse 3.
There you go. There go the image of him right here. There you go. This is a true image sitting in the actual house of Septimius Severus under a church. And they got his images up. They got his grave up under it. And they got his kitchen and everything still set up. And this is his picture right here. All right. That's him. I don't know if you see it on there. Let me know. Huh? A little bit. You see it? Oh. That's him right there, man. All right. Septimius Severus. Okay, that's a Jake. And they even had a Roman, I don't know if y'all want to see it, but they had a Roman artist duplicate his image. You know, he go around taking all the sculptures and he duplicated. And this way, y'all can see it too. That's in his wife. You saw that one? That's the one. All right. But then they had an artist reduplicate it. Edomite artist. Come on, man. You know it, right? That's that one right here. There you go. That's how he would look. All right, Septimius Severus. See that? The Roman army. See that? He did it the right way, man. He fought. All right. Hey, where we at? Revelation 2? Okay, go ahead. This is wait, matter of fact, can we get Daniel chapter 2? And that's right. No, let's start from Daniel chapter 7. 7 and 7.
Daniel chapter 7, verse 7.
Yep.
And after this I saw in the night vision, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth.
Right. So it had great iron teeth. What's that? Their military, their army, called the Roman army. When you say that, everybody knows about it. And also all their weapons were made of iron. All right. Go ahead, brother. So that was the Roman army, and they had great power the Lord gave them. Why? Why though? Why? Let's get that. What does that say? He raised the Pharaoh to show his power.
Romans.
No, right? Let me get that real quick. Sure. That's right, man. So the Lord raised him up just to show his power, man. That he rules in the kingdom of men. And now when we look back on it, somebody get that in Ephesians, the mystery of iniquity.
Romans 9 and 17.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
This is the book of Isaiah. Me?
No, I need what I asked for.
All right. It's Romans 9 and 17. For the scripture saith to
Ephesians.
Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth.
Right, so the spiritual Pharaoh today is Esau. So the Lord raised them up. All right, the same way he raised up the Egyptian empire. But look what the Lord did to Egypt. Look what the Lord did to Babylon and all these kingdoms that fell, man. The statue that was shown to Nebuchadnezzar. All right, it's going to fall, man. Yeah, Ephesians real quick. Mystery of iniquity.
Oh, that's second
Thessalonians. That's what it's saying. Yeah. All right, not too far from the topic though. Okay, go ahead, bro.
This is Psalms chapter 103, verse 15. As for man, his days are as grass, as a flower of the field, so he flourisheth. For the wind passeth over it, and it is gone.
Yep. And the Lord sends that blast. The Lord sends that wind. You know, and he said, "What? All that they've built is gone. Anytime the Lord wants, man. Just like the seasons. You see that the Lord is seasonal. And man's power." And man's power is as the flowers in the grass grow. It's here 1 minute and gone the next, just like our lives. All right, but Esau is proud. That's why the Lord said, "Pride is not made for man." But we're gonna be gods in the kingdom. The pride gonna be made for us. The lion pride. Go ahead, brother. Finish this out. I'm gonna get back to the point.
No, he's done.
All right, go ahead, Gabar. Come on, that was good, perfect.
This is the book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 2, and verse 7. It says, "For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way."
Verse 7. Hey, start at verse 3.
Book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 2, and verse 3. "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed."
See that? So he got to be revealed, man. They had to walk through their steps so they could be known that they're the mystery of iniquity, that they're the devil. The Lord had to write their story, create their story, all right, in the earth. So now when we look back on it and we're revealing them through the Spirit, and through prophesying and teaching, we look back and we can see that they're the devil, man. We can look back and see that the Lord still had power over them and raised them up, knocked them down for 1,000 years, and raised them up again. So he ruled in the kingdom of men.
The son of perdition, who opposeth and exalted himself above all that's called God.
See that? So he exalted it. So Esau has exalted themselves above all that is called power, man. All right, all that is called God, man. In every way. Okay, and you call yourself a power, they're gonna try to exalt themselves over you. If you got a God that you serve, which we serve the true and living power God, Yahweh, they're gonna exalt themselves over that. If you got some type of weaponry, they're gonna try to exalt themselves over that. You know, any story you got, they're gonna try to put themselves in it.
Keep going.
That was it on it?
No. Verse 7.
There's one more, yeah.
All right. "Who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called power, or that is worship, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God."
Right, and when did they start doing that? With the Roman Empire. All right. Or them Greeks, matter of fact, with Serapis Christi. All right, going back to the Alexandria, man. All right. The first century BC. Man, go ahead. I'll my point.
Yeah, there was a number of Roman kings who declared themselves as God.
Thank you. Took it from Give my thought back, man. Come, man.
as well as in the Babylon. Remember, because may the king live forever, Nabu live forever. They were naming themselves after the gods that they worship.
Yep. And they were called deifying them. All right, turn them into deities, and that started really with Julius Caesar. All right, they started deifying their Roman emperors around 45 BC. All right, so where were we? So the mystery of iniquity, right? All right, so now we look back in hindsight, we can see that they were the mystery of iniquity and still to this day. And we can see that the Lord has that power, man. The Lord's been running the show. So when we see these devils coming after us today, we should have no fear, man. The Lord is able to work with small groups, man. We only need 144,000 men and 1/3 of the men, women, and children. We don't even need that. We just need 144,000.
Really, because those are the ones that are going to be fighting the battle to win the 1/3 are really the believers. The 144,000 is the tabernacle of David that's going to be set up as the government and the ruling class.
Right.
So that's all we need is 144,000 and Yahushua the chariot. So we in there.
Right. And what did the Lord say, man? He said, I think it's in Daniel chapter 2 as well. Where he says, kingdom is no end, it's going to increase, something like that. Right. So the same thing he did with Septimius Severus, man. Septimius Severus started off with 500 men. That's all he had. And now look, he wound up taking over the whole empire. All right. And wound up being a part of prophecy, man. There was a lot of mysticisms around him and shit. A lot of women were having dreams that they were going to be with a king, and it was him. All right. Go ahead.
This is John chapter 14, verse 30. No, verse 29. And now I have told you before it come to pass, that when it comes to pass, you might believe. Hereafter.
Right. So he told us that's called prophecy. All right. So now the Lord has told us, and now we believe today, man. We know you can look at history and see it. All right.
Verse 30. Hereafter I will not talk much with you, for the prince of this world cometh and have nothing in me.
Right. So the prince of this world is who is that? Titus. All right. Some say Vespasian, but that was his dad. He didn't really do nothing. It was Titus that he sent in there. All right. After Nero died, Vespasian was waiting to see whether he should go into Jerusalem or not. And when he found out, he like, yo, hey Titus, go take that place. And then that's when Titus went in there and burned down the temple, desecrated the temple, put up an idol to Jupiter. You know what I mean?
And then,
no, you good.
And that's Yahushua referencing what Paul was talking about for the iniquity of mystery of iniquity do it already worked, but there shall be a falling away first. So that's two different accounts of prophecy being spoken of the same instance.
Yeah, man. Yep. To show us who the devil is today.
All right.
You know, and to show us our position in that story, our lot in that story.
All right.
Okay, and it shows the hand of our Lord, man, that he's on the throne. He's ruling in the kingdom of men. He's showing us how he did it. All right, so you got more on that?
No, want me to go back to Daniel 7?
Yeah.
It's Daniel 7:7. After this I saw in the night vision, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly.
Right, exceedingly strong. The Lord made him that way, man. What's that? Wisdom of Solomon chapter 6. Let's get that real quick. The Lord made them that way. All right.
Chapter 6
and 1.
Yeah.
6 and 9.
6 and 1.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 1. Hear therefore, O ye kings, and understand. Learn ye that be judges of the ends of the earth.
Right, and Esau the judge right now on the earth. Go to Job 9:24. Keep going in a minute. Bring us out real quick. Yeah, Job 9:24.
Job 9 verse 24.
Right, the Lord said what? The prince of this world cometh. All right, the prince of darkness. That's Esau, man. And he has nothing in the Lord, meaning no inheritance. All right.
It says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
Right, so the whole earth, oikomeni, or Ratazah, has been given to these damn devils. So they're the judges of this earth right now. They're called the nobles. We go into the gates of their nobles to rebuke them. Go ahead, brother.
He covered the faces of the judges thereof.
Right, and one of those judges was Septimius Severus.
If not,
you know,
it's lucky.
going back to Israel, you know what I mean? Go ahead, brother.
It says, if not, where and who is he?
If not, where and who is he? That's the question of today. That's the question we asking today. If vocab, if you're not the devil, if not, where and who is he? If the Germans and the Europeans are not the devil, who else would be? All right, because the Lord showed us clearly in the Bible who the devil is, man, who the dragon is. All right.
You know how they tell us when they pull us over? Or we fit the description? Well, y'all fit the description.
Criminal.
Criminal, yep.
The word criminal goes back to crimson. It means red, caught red-handed. All right. Yeah, keep going. Wisdom of Solomon 6.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 2. Give ear, you that rule the people.
Right. What did the Lord say? Go to now, you rich men. Weep and howl for your misery that shall come upon you. But we in the time of those miseries that's going to come upon these devils. They about to get their repayment, man. For what they did to Jacob. Go ahead, Doc.
Give ear, you that rule the people, and glory in the multitude of nations.
Right. Glory in the multitude of nations. What did it say? They heapeth unto them all people.
Melting pot.
The melting pot. Not just a melting pot. I'm talking about Esau in general. Their whole thing is they want to control and rule everybody. They want to. They say they sit up in the temple saying, "I am God."
Yeah, you just read that.
I just read that, right?
I got another one for you.
Go ahead, bro.
All right, this is Isaiah chapter 26, verse 10. Let favor be shown to the wicked, yet he will not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord.
That's right, man. He said, when the wicked are in power, the people mourn. You see that? So the Lord has showed favor to him. You know, so he gave all these heathens. He gave all these heathens time to rule, man. So they can't whine about nothing. The Lord is righteous. He's fair and balanced. Go ahead, Doc.
This is the land back that the bishop scripture. This is Psalms 44:2. How thou didst drive out the heathen with thy hand and plantest them. How thou didst afflict the people and cast them out. For they got not the land in possession by their own sword,
right.
Neither did their own arm save them, but thy right hand and thy arm and the light of thy countenance, because thou hast a favor unto them. Right. Thou art my king, O power. Command deliverance for Jacob.
Right, you know what that's out? He said about Heliodorus. I think he brought that out before. About Heliodorus, he said, yo,
if he would have came, he would have been like as Heliodorus.
Yeah, he's talking about Antiochus Epiphanes. You know? So if it wasn't for the Lord, if our people weren't wicked and it wasn't a judgment against our people, Esau would have never had the power that they have, man. All right, and if you want to know the proof of the Lord favoring the Romans at that moment, you can read Josephus, book of Josephus, man, because he was a Jake. That was a pagan. That's important. He was a pagan. Oh, no, actually, he wasn't a pagan. Salaki. That was Septimius Severus. Josephus, he was actually a Pharisee. He started off as an Essene. He wound up being a Pharisee later at the end of his life. All right. So he didn't really believe in Yahushua. All right. So now Josephus, the story about him is when the Romans showed up, he went on the other side of the wall and said, "Yo, y'all better come out here. Our God is with the Romans right now." Yeah. He said, "Matter of fact, y'all can keep my family." For real. So the Lord was favoring the Romans at that time, according to prophecy, man. According to the Lord's word, He made it happen. All right, in order for us to be delivered.
Just like how He said He favored Cyrus the Great. He called him Cyrus the Great his servant.
Yep, He called him his servant, man, and Nebuchadnezzar. Nabonidus. All right. Nebuchadnezzar. Go ahead.
In the book of Psalms, chapter 9 and verse 15, the heathen are sunk down in the pit that they made, in the net which they hid.
Right, so they sunk down in
the net where they made.
Yep, they're talking about these missiles. In the New World Order. All right. Let's get back to this real quick.
All right. Back to Daniel.
Yeah.
All right, this is Daniel 7:7. And after this I saw in the night vision,
Right, so he showed him in the vision, Daniel, go ahead.
and
605 BC, man. A so-called black man named Daniel. We used to rule. You know, the true powers on this earth, true princes and kings and princesses, man. But our people would rather, our women would rather be queen. If you look at the word queen, it's a word that goes back to whore. Go ahead, brother.
Daniel 7:7. After this I saw in the night vision, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly.
Right, so that's the fourth beast, the fourth kingdom, the Roman Empire. All right, so it's going to break down the start of it. Go ahead, brother. After the Persian Empire with Darius the third. Okay, go ahead, brother.
And it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it.
Right, the Roman Empire took over everything. He took over the Greek Empire. You know, so the Romans wasn't no joke, man. Especially with in 65 BC with Pompey, and they stamped out the residue of our nation with the feet of it. You know, that's where you have people like Paul and them, you know, and all the believers that got stomped out. And even today, they're still doing it. Go ahead, brother.
It says,
with the feet of it. The feet of it represents their military.
and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it.
Right, so it was different. This one had a Senate. It had Caesars, Augustus, Augustuses that they would worship. They would worship the Augustuses, the emperors. So, and they also had lawyers, and that's when you get the whole creation of the courts. And people started running back and forth through the Roman Empire with paperwork, so they could have files like you see downtown in the courts today. So that started in the Roman Empire. Go ahead.
It says, and it was diverse from all the other beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns.
Right, so it was different, man. These were Edomites. They were different than the Assyrians. They were different than the Persians. You know, and it had what, 10 horns? That's what you call today the Roman Empire, the 10 common markets of Rome. All right, which later developed into what's called the European Union today. So they're still here. All right. So let's go to Daniel chapter 2. Yeah. Daniel 2, let me see. Let me start from, because it's in there twice. Let's go to Daniel 2 and 34.
Daniel chapter 2, verse 34.
So now we know that fourth beast is the Roman Empire, okay? But what happened to it? Go ahead.
It says, thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay.
Right, so what's that? The stone that the Lord is going to use to smite the wicked in the end of their rulership. Somebody get that? Second Ezra. Esau, the end of the world. Did somebody get that? Stone the builder refused.
Book of Second Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 8. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed.
Right, so yeah, so Jacob, Yahushua represents Jacob, man, even before us. now we being called Israelites again, you know? But before that, we were heathens. We were dead, spiritually dead. So Yahushua represents Jacob, man. And we're going to rule after Esau's ruling through Yahushua. All right, so that's the end of Esau's rulership, to where the Lord is going to take the 10 toes, man. You know, and that's where the seat of the deceiver is, over there in Europe, the European Union. All right. So the Lord going to destroy them with the Brexit, destroying their power in the earth through America, their dollar. He's destroying all that right now. All right. So somebody get Psalms 118 and 21.
This is the book of Psalms 118 and 22.
Yep.
The stone which the builders refuse is become the headstone of the corner.
Right, there you go, period. So he has become the headstone of the corner, man. Meaning exalted, lifted up. You know, the first foundation stone, that's what you start with. The cornerstone. All right? That's Yahushua, either the first or the last stone. He's the first and the last. All right? The chief cornerstone, meaning exalted. Nothing better than him. You see that? So he's the stone which our people refused. But he's going to be used in the last days, like King David used the stone to smite the giant. All right. So now, who we reading, brother?
Back in Daniel 2 and 34. Okay. It's Daniel chapter 2, verse 34. Thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet.
Right. So that cut out means to be cut out of Israel. Okay. Took him away from the pie of Israel. That way you got 2/3, 1/3. All right.
Which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay, and break them to pieces. Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together, and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors, and the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. And that stone that smote the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth.
Right. So the legs right there. I want to go back to the leg part. So let me see.
32.
Yeah.
All right, it's Daniel 2 and 32. This image head was of fine gold.
There you go. So his head of fine gold, that represents the Babylonian Empire, basically through the Assyrians. All right, go ahead.
His breast and his arms of silver.
Right, so he had two sides to that. That was the Medo-Persian Empire. All right. Basically, the Persian Empire, later called the Medo-Persian Empire by Xerxes. Go ahead, brother.
His belly and his thighs of brass.
Right, so his belly and his thighs of brass representing the Greek Empire. And the reason it went from his belly down to his thighs, because it was still kind of part of the legs. They were Edomites. It was still the Greek Empire and the Roman Empire were basically the same, you know? Go ahead, brother. But then now it's splitting. Go ahead.
His legs of iron, his feet.
Oh, wait. His legs of iron. So you got two legs. So now the body has split into an eastern and western part called the Roman Empire. All right.
So that started the division and started their fall.
That started the fall. It split into two different legs.
Verse 33.
So now what we're talking about is the fall of the Western Roman Empire. So that should make more sense, you know? Go ahead, bro.
His legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay.
Right, so they're going to iron again. See that same iron we read about in Daniel 7, and 7, I think it was. Right? That same iron, man. And now we're seeing that their power structure is falling apart again. The same way the Lord did from 193 all the way to 198, when the Lord used Septimius Severus, a so-called Negro, to break down these devil systems. And he's going to use Yahushua now, stirred up in the spirit of jealousy, to destroy these devils. The same way. The same way, stirred up in the spirit of vengeance. All right, we call Yahushua the avenger for Israel. The avenger for Yahweh, man. The same way Septimius Severus was the avenger for Pertinax, the Edomite. You know how Jacob, they like to die for Esau.
Esau?
Yeah, they jump in front of him.
No.
All right, so let's get a couple precepts in spirit movement. Right. Yeah, definitely.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 3. For power is given you, Salakia, for power is given you of the Lord, and sovereignty from the highest. Who shall try your works and search out your counsel?
Right, so the Lord is trying their work, man, and searching out their counsels, right? Even to this day. So all the counsels of the wicked, the secret society that they got trying to hide. The Roman Empire, once they knew that the Lord was on their ass, they decided to go stealth mode. They set systems in place, such as religious systems against what you call paganisms, that's set against our belief. All right, the belief in Yahushua. And they would never let us have a king. Thus you have Herod. Thus you have Pompey coming up against us, man. They didn't want us to have a king, man. All right, even all the way up until the Battle of Bar Kokhba, which was the last revolt of our people. They were our dumbass people started worshiping a guy named Simon Bar Kokhba and called him the Messiah. See that? Go ahead, brother.
And just to add on to what the elder's saying, and even until a more modern present day with Black Panthers, when J. Edgar Hoover founded the COINTELPRO, one of his statements he made is he created that to prevent a Black Messiah, man.
Thank you, man. That's beautiful. Because and that goes with the rap industry. Yeah. You know, they call Biggie and Pac the king of the East Coast and West. King. Somebody said king? Yeah. Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
King. What? Bergie.
that basically goes down to them from the beginning of Hellenization or beginning of forcing us their beliefs upon us. They didn't want us to have a true king from Israel, and they did not want us to have a true place of worship.
Yep.
But that was all prophesied from Deuteronomy, that we're going to be forced into those conditions for not listening to the law, statutes, and commandments. He said, "You shall be taken to a land where you and your fathers have not known, and there you shall be forced to serve other gods, wood and stone."
Woo. Right, man. You can't get over it, can't get under it. We can't get out of it unless the Lord frees us, man. He said, "He's our Redeemer. No man shall buy you." You know? So, yeah, man, that's a Timothy Severus, 1,000 years. Got precepts? Precepts? Oh, I got it. All right, good. We're going to get back to it.
It's the book of Mark, chapter 3 and verse 25. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand.
Oh, and
that's just the split, all right, from the Roman Empire of Western, splitting up from the Western Roman Empire, all the way up to today, where you have that incognito of the revamped Roman Empire still existing today, with the Western Roman Empire in America being the spearhead, with the Britain playing the backdrop, you know, Jerusalem, the central banks, and everything like that. It can't stand. It's divided.
Right. But what is Esau's prime tactic? They to divide and conquer. So all this was being done by Europe, divide and conquer. America was established on division. You had your South and your Union. All right. So now after that's all done away with this, after the Civil War, they put so-called treaties in place. You still had a division with the Republicans and the Democrats. So all that's being run over there by Europe. But now what are you seeing happen? You're seeing Europe starting to be divided now. Once again, just like how it came from the belly to the thighs, it started dividing right there. We're watching that same process of the division of Europe all over again.
The Lord showing us. He said, "You already showed y'all the blueprint, so we'll know it when he's moving." This is Exodus 15:3. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, even Yahushai is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. All right, his son's name is Yahushai, if thou canst tell. All right, so a man of war. What comes with war? Strategy. He said, "No man that war." What? Somebody get that? Let's get that. So Yahushua already sat down and planned it out from the beginning. All right, now. That's right, man. Our King in the heavens, man, he's a war strategist and very patient and long suffering, man. Like a hunter, a true hunter. And he says, what? Somebody get that? Bear not the sword in vain. Oh my God.
This is 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 4.
Right, Romans 13:4.
No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life.
Somebody get that where he said he was going to be at war with Amalek? Right, man. So the Lord is at war with these people. And they have no idea. All right. The Lord's name is Yahushua. All right. His father's name is Yahweh. Okay. That name they taught us in these churches, Jesus, that goes back to Zeus. See that? That's paganism. The Edomite. Okay. Go ahead, somebody.
I got it.
Let me stop real quick and get this real quick.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 4.
Yep.
For he is the minister of Yahweh to thee for good. But if thou do which is evil, be afraid, for he beareth not the sword in vain.
Right. Didn't the Lord say that about Esau, the evil? Right? No vain person is Esau, man. And the Lord said, yo, if you're an evil person, a bad person, he said, what? The Lord beareth not the sword in vain. Why? Because he's the warrior. He's the one that's sent out for Yahweh. All right? The slayer.
All right, this is Exodus chapter 17, verse 15. And Moses built an altar and called it the name Yahweh Nishi.
Right.
For he said, because the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Shai, has sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation.
Right. So they come on with it, man. The chief house of Esau, man. The Lord is at war with them. And now the Lord got the physical part handled. But he sent us out to battle. What's it called? Ground troops. We the ground troops. We get to see eye to eye with these devils. And look them in the eyes. And speak the Lord's words, give them the message.
That's funny you say that, battle strategy, because when I was in high school, I was being prepped to go to the military. So I took ROTC. And one of the battle strategies is called blitzstream warfare, where you send ground troops in there first, thus us out here teaching. And then you see then after that, you deliver the ground, you have excavation of the ground troops where they're taking out the land, right? And then you have the flight troops, the air troops come in and destroy what's left over.
Right. On the ancient times, they'd send somebody with a scroll, have them running, and then give it to them. And they'd be like, so-and-so wants to go to war with you. Can't kill the messenger like on 300.
Right.
Remember that?
Yeah.
He said, this is Sparta.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we represent. We the messenger, the angels. You know, we bring in the letter.
God.
Somebody get 2 Corinthians right after yours. 2 Corinthians 10 and 4. Go ahead.
This Isaiah 13 and 2. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain.
Ooh.
Exalt the voice unto them. Shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the noble.
There you go, man. So we lifting up that standard. That standard represents the banner. All right? That banner is here. It's like an army showing up. And we're the ground troops. And we got the standards like this.
That's the scroll we handed to them.
That's the scroll. That's the scroll. Like,
We're running through the back. Hey, Lord told me to give you this. Thou shalt be destroyed.
That's right. Yeah, they don't like that. But you know.
Fine.
So who was reading? He was done.
Yeah, he was done.
2 Corinthians?
2 Corinthians 10 and 4.
This is 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh to the pulling down of strongholds.
Right. So the Lord then sent us down here to fight these devils with their weapon, fire with fire. The Lord sent us down here to fight fire with water. Put it right out. All right, go ahead.
Verse 5.
He said, pulling down the strongholds. So our job is to pull down the strongholds. The Lord, like, yeah, just go down and pull down all those idols spiritually. You know, that's what I want y'all to do. I'm gonna do the rest.
The same thing we were supposed to do with the Canaanites when we entered into the land of Israel. Destroy their idols and destroy their groves.
So the Lord has already started to destroy Esau. We were at the end when Yahushua was on the scene.
Verse 5 of 2 Corinthians chapter 10.
Right now we at the last days of the end.
It says, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of Yahweh.
Right, time for them to be cast down, boy.
And bring into captivity.
Yep, they're going down.
Every
down
thought
for the count.
Every thought to the obedience of a Mashiach.
Yep, that's right, man. So our job is to bring, well, the scripture is to bring our thoughts into the obedience of Yahweh Shai. Okay, right? Because the Lord used the prophets to gather the word together and write it. Now He used the word to gather the prophets. All right, go ahead.
This is Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, and in the power of His might. All right, because we're part of that army. You got to be suited up. You got to have your proper attire on. It says, put on the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and against powers and against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So that's what we're stepping up against. So we have to be fully equipped. Don't go out there with the wrong state of mind, because guess what? The physical part that he did from slavery and all that shit that they set up, that was only to affect us spiritually. So now he took over our mind with the image of that. He wants that to keep going around, because guess what? Our people fear of going back into that situation again. Right. But they need to fear the Lord so they don't get back in that situation. Not fearing Esau.
Right. We got some Edomites. Some Fleetamites coming up now.
Be careful, those are complete.
All right, I need Ezekiel 37 and 10 real quick. Ezekiel 37 and 10 is yours.
37 and 10.
No, it's still the same.
This is Ezekiel
I think.
37 and 10. It says, so I prophesied as he commanded me.
Right, so we're prophesying as the Lord commanded us, not the way these governments commanded the churches. Go ahead.
It says, so I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them.
Right, so the breath. So you can have a book all you want, but you gotta have the breath. You gotta have the spirit of the Lord dealing with you. Okay, go ahead.
And they lived
All right, now what's up, man?
and stood up upon their feet,
Right, we're standing upon our feet. Go ahead.
an exceeding great army.
Whoa, so we actually part of the army of the Lord. You see that? An exceeding great army. So you see us, you think it's just us. But what did the Lord tell Elisha? You know, what did Elisha tell the soldier?
Open his eyes so he can see that there's more of us than there is of them.
There's more of us than it is of them, man. You see that? All right? And especially our power in the heavens, man. Come on, man. So read that last part again, Babakar Shah.
God, it says, and stood up upon their feet, an exceeding great army.
So the Lord chose you to be a part of his army. And the Lord said he did not sit down first. I mean, no man that war sitteth not down first and count the cost, man. All right, so the Lord has already counted the cost, what he's going to lose and what he's going to gain. And he said, I don't want to lose none of them. All right, he knew he was going to lose 2/3 of our people. He knew he was going to be show up down here and lose his life. All right, for us to be free. So he counted the cost already. And what it was going to take to go to war with these devils, you know, without destroying us in the midst. That's why we say, Lord, in wrath, please remember mercy. All right.
You're getting busy, boy. It's on.
Yeah, it's a wrath. Like, jeez.
Oh, my bad.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 8 and verse 31. What shall we then say to these things? If God be for us, who can be against us? He that spared not his own son, but delivered him up for us all, how shall he not with him also freely give us all things? Who shall lay anything to the charge of God's elect? It is Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, that justifieth. Who is he that condemneth? It is Yahushua that died, yet rather that is risen again, who is even at the right hand of Yahweh, who also maketh intercessions for us.
So understanding that, like, if he gave up Yahushua, his only begotten son, and didn't spare him for the cause of his word, for a cause of his promise, what is there to fear? If he's willing to put his son through that sacrifice in order to obtain his promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, then there's nothing else to fear. So he delivered us, so that's where we get deliverance also. So there's no way he's going to allow his son to be that ultimate sacrifice and we still get destroyed and we still not have a place of salvation. Right. That wouldn't make any sense.
Right. You know, it's definitely going to happen.
Right.
You know, Yahushua ain't playing. He want to bring this to pass, man.
Right.
All right.
That's why he said it is done.
It's finished, yeah.
This is the book of Psalms 20 and 5. We will rejoice in thy salvation, and in the name of our power, we will set up our banners. The Lord fulfill all thy petitions. Now know that he, the Lord, saving his anointed.
That's right. Looking at it from a military strategy, you picture the Roman Empire, and then you'll see that these Edomites were ruling, and then you'll see Septimius Severus pop up like a chess piece, and then you move him over here. And then he leaves. Now you got a banner over here for his part of the Roman Empire. And then everywhere he went, just like Esau set up military bases everywhere. They got these flags there. So Yahushua is doing that through the Spirit today. We're setting standards up everywhere. Go ahead, brother. This right here is a standard. This is an altar. We're setting up altars.
He will hear him from his holy heaven with the saving strength of his right hand.
Right.
Yeah, we're setting an altar just like Moses did right before Yahushua declared they're going to always be at war with Amalek.
Right.
So we're doing the same thing in the spirit of Moses.
Right, man. So the Lord is still at war with them, even during the Roman Empire. You know, Even though Yahushua was in the heavens, he's still at war with him through Septimius Severus. Okay, go ahead, brother.
It says, some trust in chariots, some in horses,
Yep.
but we will remember the name of our power.
Right, so you see the Roman Empire, you see America all vast, they built it up, but the Lord said he's going to throw it down. For us, we remember Yahushua. We know that knowing the terrors of the Lord, we persuade men. You know, so we know he's going to tear this place down, man. But these average peons, they don't understand that this place is going to be destroyed just like Sodom and Gomorrah. You see that? And anybody, they say, hey, man. Matter of fact, I'm leaving them alone. You notice you get loud every time you go by, though. You know what I mean? So, go ahead, brother.
They are brought down and fallen.
Right. I was gonna say anybody that talk, they obviously trying to cover it. That's like covering their ears.
That'll get your attention.
Yeah. Yeah. Trying to mute this out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But you can't. If you're talking, you can't hear shit.
Can't hear shit. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Nah.
Bob. We're okay.
But we are risen and stand upright. That's it.
That's right. So we've risen like the Lord has promised, as He has commanded. We're risen, standing upon our feet. You know, as He has promised, man.
And we're standing upright. So the spirit that's within us is upright. But what does it say about Esau? He's standing up too. But the spirit within him is not upright within him, boy. And the just shall live by faith. So we both standing up face to face. But what's your spirit about? Your spirit laying down. You don't even know it.
Right, man. Right. You know, and the only difference between an elephant and a lion is what? The way they think. You know, an elephant is the hugest in the jungle, one of the hugest, scared the shit out of anything and destroy it. But it thinks like a mouse. You know? And so the lion, the mentality different. So the Lord is teaching us to be the lion thinking elephant in the room. You know what I'm saying? Crush everything.
Crush everything.
All right, you got some? Yeah, go ahead. You good.
This Psalms 137:7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof.
Right, man. Right. We're praying to the Lord to remember them. And the Lord does remember them. He kept a backlog of them.
So we wouldn't forget.
So we wouldn't forget. He kept a backlog. So we wouldn't forget, man.
But what does Scripture say? In death, there's no remembrance of former things. But what he did, he left the law. Soon as we get right back on this earth, he puts it right back into our remembrance, man.
Right, man.
We'll never forget these devils, man. And he's never gonna forget these devils. So what do you say? Elephants don't forget anything?
Once again, Revelations 13 and let's start from 1.
Revelation chapter 13, verse 1.
All the way to 4.
And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea.
Right, that beast is talking about NATO. Okay, go ahead.
Having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Right, 7 heads, 10 horns.
And
okay, that goes into the Roman Empire again, the 10 horns. And the 7 heads represent what? The European NATO. Okay, the NATO countries. 7 heads, 10 horns. Go ahead.
And upon his horns, 10 crowns.
Right, upon his horns, 10 crowns. That represents 27. That goes into the original 27 nations that started the European Union. Okay, go ahead, brother.
And upon his heads, the name of blasphemy.
Right, so a bunch of wickedness, blasphemous names like the Rothschild. You know, and pagan names like Jesus. Go ahead, brother.
And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet as
right,
the
so
feet.
My bad. So that beast, that beast, NATO, was just like the ancient Greek Empire with Alexander. How they took over everything and silenced the whole world before them. Okay, go ahead.
And his feet.
And that really happened with World War II when they called fire from the sky. Okay, was it atom bomb? Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Hey, they're coming out with a movie about the guy who made them, Oppenheimer.
Yo, the German. Yeah, man, the German, man, the demon. All right. Keep going.
And his feet were as the feet of a bear.
Right, so that represents the feet again. All right, the 10 toes, you know, because feet have 10 toes unless something wrong with you. So when it says the Lord going to take them at the feet, How is the Lord going to do that? Somebody get Ezekiel 38. All right. So he said, what? The bear, right? And the bear represents Russia. And they're known as the Russian bear. And bears hibernate. All right. And then they go out to hunt again.
Ezekiel,
See, that's what the Lord did with Russia. He had them hibernating for 10 years. You know, now they're out to hunt again. He's bringing them forth to become that old Soviet Union again.
this is Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog.
Right. It's time to prophesy against them, meaning what? The Lord is doing what? Somebody get that third.
Most of the battle.
No, the spirit of me.
Isaiah 13 and 16.
Jeremiah 51 and 51:11. Yep, get this real quick, and then Muslims the whole. Somebody got that one.
The book of Jeremiah,
Muslims the whole.
chapter 51 and verse 11.
You probably got that one.
Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord have raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes, for his device is against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple.
Right. So that's see, the Lord is raising up the bear to take these devils at the feet. You see that? To bring down the Roman Empire, to bring down America. So see, that's what they're going to start with. See, that's the Lord doing it. And he's going to break their power in the earth. How? Somebody get that? Hold up. Don't, everybody hold their spot where they at. Right? Where is it? The hammer of the earth?
Isaiah chapter 14.
Right. Come on. Look at that real quick. Don't lose your where y'all.
Isaiah.
Yep. Yep. There you go. Jeremiah 50 and 23. Jeremiah 50 and 23. Jeremiah 50 and 23.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 50 and verse 23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations?
See, that's what the Lord is breaking their power in the earth. See that? He's starting with their power. All right. He's breaking Esau's blessing. You know? So now he's breaking their power in the earth before he breaks them. You see that? That was, it was a prayer in Psalms that break out their teeth, oh Lord. You know? So break out, take their might away first. Isaiah 14 and 5. See, that's what the Lord is doing. One more verse? Here, come. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 24 of Jeremiah chapter 50. I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast stricken against the Lord.
There you go. That's perfect. We get in with that point, because ultimately the Lord is going to raise up the spirit of the Medes, the Russians, and all those people over in Eastern Asia, and Iran, and all of them against America to what? Shoot that missile. The waste. The Lord has created the waster to destroy. He said, what? It's going to come down and destroy the whole land. All right. He got a sacrifice in what? Idumea. All right. Isaiah 14 and 5.
Book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 5. The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked.
Bro, so the Lord is breaking their power. A staff is something that you lean upon to carry you along, keep you help keep you up. All right. So the Lord is breaking down what's keeping them in power. All right. That's what they lean upon, America. So the Lord has chopped their damn staff in half, made them fall. Right?
And the scepters of the rulers.
Right. He called him an old devil. He's that old serpent, leaning upon his staff, America. Yep. That point. Yeah. Go ahead. One more time.
Verse 5 again, Isaiah chapter 14.
God.
The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindered.
Right, man. So Esau is going to be persecuted, and nobody going to be able to stop it. We say he raised up the kings of the Medes. I mean, kings of the East. No, hell has
Verse 9.
yeah, the hell has stirred.
Hell from beneath.
Come.
You can bring it up.
Whoever got I don't think he probably hear you though.
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 9.
Uh-huh.
Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations.
See that? So the Lord is raising up these devils, man. The Lord is raising up Russia. He controlled the hearts of the kings, man, the bear, to take them at defeat. You see that at the end of their system? That's a sign to let us know through prophecy that we're at the end of their rulership. All right? They're about to be severed septimously. All right? Meaning completely. All right? But during that time, in 193 over to 198, really up to 211, up to his death, Septimius Severus, the Lord used him, man, to sever part of the Roman Empire, to prepare and put holes in their system, ultimately for the western leg of the Roman Empire to fall in 410 AD. All right? Stirred up civil wars and stuff like that. Okay? So, yeah, we ruled for 1,000 years. Let's get that real quick. Revelation 13. Where was that?
Revelation chapter 13, verse 2. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion.
Right, so they're talking about Britain. See that? And Britain became the spokesperson for NATO. All right, they were the powerhouse. They were their bankers. All right. Go ahead. And the lion represents Britain. If you look at their symbol, it's a lion. Go ahead.
And the dragon gave him his power.
Whoa, so the dragon again. So the dragon is back on the earth again, man. The original dragon, see? So that's how you know who the devil is. Let's go to Revelation 12. You got, unless you guys know precept too. Revelation 12.
Revelation 12 and 3. Yep. It says, and there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head.
Right, so that means rulership. Where it says heaven, it's talking about another wonder in this being exalted. All right, that was a red dragon.
Yes,
that's right, red Esau. Let's get that. Revelation 6. Oh yeah. Revelation 6. Where it say the red horse. All right, even though the red horse is talking about now, you can still use that when it talks about the Greek Empire, the Roman Empire as well.
Verse 4. It's the book of Revelations, chapter 6 and verse 4.
Right.
And there went out another horse that was red.
Oh, another power. See that? The word horse represents power. See? They became a power in the earth that rose up from a sea of people. Go ahead, brother.
Right, that was red, and power was given to him.
Right, red. Go back to Esau. Go ahead.
And power was given to him that
Whoa, so power was given to him. From who? From the Lord. The Lord gave him that power. Go ahead.
And power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword.
Right. So what's that? He said, to lead them to perdition.
Revelation 20.
They came out of the bottomless pit.
Revelation 20.
Come. Yep. I guess we're gonna get back to it in a minute.
Okay. You want to wait?
Probably. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it probably take me somewhere else. Let's keep going real quick. I definitely want to get it though, but it probably gonna wait a minute. Can you read that last part again, Babakar Shah?
Revelation 6 and 4. And power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword.
Yeah, let's get it. Yeah, let's get it. The Battle of Armageddon, right? Yeah, good. Come on, let's get that.
All right, this is Revelation 20 and 7. Yep. And when the 1,000 years are expired.
Right, so that was around the 12th century, going all the way. Everything has a beginning and end with the Lord. So from the 12th century, really 1266 AD, all the way up until the 1400s, that was when the Roman Empire was being reestablished, what was called the rebirth, the Renaissance. And then you had the system of racism that they put in place, all right, and around 1488. And then what, 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. All right, they came over to the New World looking for resources and Israelites to enslave. All right,
Revelation 27. And when those 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison.
Right, the same Satan we read about in the beginning of that chapter. All right, and in the same that same one is the mystery of iniquity. Okay, go ahead, brother.
Verse 8, and shall go out to deceive the nations.
Right. Why? Why? Because the Lord had them bound, man. He had them bound over there in Europe. They couldn't do nothing. Anywhere they raised up at, the Lord could easily raise up a champion against them, like Severus, like Samson. You know,
Like what did it say in the book of Job? They were driven from among men.
they were driven. All right. So the Lord gonna what? He's gonna put them back in their place, man. In a low degree, man. As a serpent upon the ground in the dust. I missed the part on that. There's one part. Can you go back one verse?
All right.
One line, I think.
All right. It says, verse 8. It says, and shall go out to deceive the nations.
Right. So they've gone out in that spirit of deception, in that pagan spirit, in that secret societal spirit, man. All right. The Roman Empire, it's always been ruled in secret. They created that secret rulership with the Senate of Rome. All right. And they've been ruling that way for almost 300, they said 300 years, man.
Yeah,
All right, now.
I ain't got no spare robe, man. I like them robes.
Now we got a spirit, we got a spiritual rule for you.
You got no robe, man. You ain't got no spare robe for
Nah, man. I got a covering for you. His name Yahushua. That's right, brother.
right there.
That's the robe he needs, Yahushua.
All right. It says, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, and to gather them together to battle.
You guys coming together? Ezekiel 38. The Lord has risen up Ezekiel, the Russians, the bear, to bring them to the battle of Armageddon, which is the battle of all the troops on this earth over there in Europe, over there in the Middle East. All right. So when you hear about NATO gathering against dealing with Ukraine, all that's dealing with Armageddon. All right. Where we at? We're missing something. Ezekiel 38.
Ezekiel 38.
Let me cut in real quick. Yeah,
That was it.
That was it.
Yeah, Gog and Magog.
Yep.
Yes, we're going back to.
Yep. Ezekiel 38.
All right, it's back at Ezekiel 38 and 1 or 2.
Yeah, right up there.
It says, Son of man, set thy face against God.
See, the Lord saying, yeah, if you're gonna prophesy, turn this way. Set thy face against Russia. All right, that's the one that's gonna bring down the system. Go ahead.
It says the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal.
Right, the Russians, man. Okay, what's called the Kremlin. The Kremlin just got attacked. Moscow just got attacked the other day by Ukraine. See that? So it's happening as we speak. We're at the end of this man's system, and the Lord is about to break the staff of the wicked, man. Break this place, America, man. All right. This Plymouth Rock. Go ahead, brother.
It says the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal and prophesy against him.
Right, the chief prince of what's called Eurasia, Eastern Asia, all right, which was Russia, which was originally the Soviet Union. Okay, going back where they fell in 1991. So since then, the Lord had them in hibernation. They wasn't dead or destroyed, but they were hibernating, you know, saving their energy, building up.
Verse 3, it says, and say, thus saith the Lord power, behold, I am against thee.
Right, so the Lord is against the Russians as well, even though he's using them right now to destroy. You know, they're being stirred up. Okay, go ahead.
It says, behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal.
Right, even though the Lord is using these nations, he's still against them. The chief prince of Eurasia, go ahead.
And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws.
Right, so it means taking control over them and bringing them back to that Soviet Union mind state. All right, which will ultimately bring down the European Union, take the power away from the European Union, which would like with the Brexit. All right, so the Brexit happened, which basically the Lord used the Brexit to break free Russia. Because in 2016 with the Brexit, that's when Vladimir Putin first started pushing out that the Soviet Union is back. All right, he want all those nations back.
Like Lithuania.
Lithuania. I was just thinking that a minute. I can't remember the name. Come on. All right, go ahead, brother.
And I will bring thee forth and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor.
Right.
Even a great company with bucklers and shields.
So that's why you see all the nations that are cleaving unto Russia equipping themselves militarily, increasing their military might.
Lord, we're watching the power, man. We're watching the Lord's power happen, just like watching the Red Sea move from before us.
Right.
We're seeing the path open up straight to the kingdom, man. We're seeing it ahead of us, man.
And realize all those are the Lord's weapons. He's the one that put it in the minds of these scientists to do all this. That's why he says he's opening up his armory.
Right, man. Somebody get that armory. That one. Yeah, come on.
I mean, we got Jeremiah 51.
Yeah, we ain't read that one yet. Read it. Let me get this real quick and go right into it. Yeah, the armory.
All right, this is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 24. It says, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou wast not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord.
Right, so the Lord set up this plan against Babylon. He sat down, mapped it out, and set it up against Babylon, America, the staff of the wicked, to break their power in the earth before he takes those elites over there into slavery. All right.
The Lord hath opened his armory and hath brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of the Lord, Yahweh, power of hosts, in the land of the Chaldeans.
Right. So anytime you see these weapons, you see missiles, that's the Lord's creation. And you see the sword, that's the Lord's creation. You know? So the Lord created. Yeah, all right. Where was that? So the Lord has opened up his armory, man. And out of his bag of tricks, he brought forth that missile and put it into the minds of these Germans to establish the science of splitting the atoms apart and creating atomic energy, and then taking it to the nuclear age, and ultimately bringing about what's called enrichment, uranium, nuclear enrichment. You know, so they all battling with that. Ultimately, to bring about the ICBM, something called the intercontinental ballistic missile that can fly from one country to another. It looks like a glittering sword in the sky. That's what the Lord about to do to this place, man. Burn it with fire, a lake of fire. Go ahead, brother. You got something real quick?
This is the book of Joel 3 and 10. Beat your plowshares into swords.
Right, so the Lord put it in their spirit for these nations to beat their plowshares into swords, meaning they ain't going to put all their money into agriculture, which would be farming and such, in their economy. Russia let their economy fail in 1991. It was called the turnip winter. They had to eat turnips. All right, just like during the World War I. All right. So it brought a lot of poverty because of George Soros, who's called the destroyer of nations, man. All right. He put a lot of money, those elites put a lot of money against Russia, man. All right. So they fell. Go ahead. And they started preparing militarily, just like China. Go ahead, bro.
And your pruning hooks into spears.
So they beat their pruning hooks. They took all of that and they made missiles with them. They invested it into their missile technology, AI technology, to bring it all together, man. You know, what do you call that? A nuclear arms race. Yep. Racing towards Esau's destruction. All right. Go ahead, bro. You got a precept? Oh, go ahead.
All right, this is Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 41. It says, if I wet my glittering sword and my hand take hold on judgment, I will render vengeance to my enemies and will reward them that hate me. I will make mine arrows drunk with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh, and that the blood of the slain and of the captives from the beginning of revenges upon the enemy. Right. So, like that's going back into the glittering sword, the missiles that the elder was talking about, man.
And the point you made in that precept, you said those that hate me. See? And they've shown the Lord that hate. right? And also this, John 15:18. If the world hates you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. All right, so if you hate, and they've shown nothing but hatred to it. What's that, Obadiah? For that violence? Somebody get that? That's right, man. So they showed hatred to the Lord by showing hatred to his men and his people.
It is Obadiah 1:10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever.
There you go. See that? And they hate righteousness, man. Esau. Go ahead, brother.
This is Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 5, verse 4, verse 3, and verse 2. It says, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it, and say unto it, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, on Mount Seir I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamities, and the time that their iniquity had an end.
Look at that.
Yeah, so basically, that perpetual hatred, and guess what? That was the Lord driving that hatred up against him, just like how he told Moses, hey, I'm going to send you in there to Pharaoh, but I'm going to harden his heart. So the Lord don't want you want you to try to offer any kind of recompense. You can't offer anything for the stuff that you've done.
Right.
Lord puts you up to do it, but because of your perpetual hatred, the Lord's going to destroy you.
Read that real quick. You can speak on it too. Zechariah 2:8. For thus saith Yahweh of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. For he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye.
All right, so everybody thought it was all good.
It's like poking him in the eye.
Hey, you know, we all know how that feels. We don't like that shit.
You gonna whoop your ass.
Yeah. So the Lord's gonna destroy these heathens, man.
Yeah, man.
With a sword of destruction, and the way he's gonna do it, man, they're doing it to their own demise. They don't even know that's the Lord right there in front of their face, holding their hand, walking them to the death.
Right, man. Yeah, that was joking with the poking in the eye.
Yeah,
you know, because the apple represents something that you desire.
Yeah.
You know, so Israel is what the Lord desires, Jerusalem. You see that? So they touched that. The Lord ain't forget that. All right, go ahead.
This is Obadiah, verse 16.
Yeah, they touched us, they showed hatred to the Lord.
This is Obadiah, verse 16. It says, For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and it shall be as though they had not been.
Right, man. So it's going to be, even though you got all this power in the world, built up all these kingdoms, the Roman Empire, America, it's going to be like they never existed before in the kingdom. You know, the nighttime is going to be out. It's going to be daytime now. See that? And it's going to continue to stay day. It's going to stay day forever as long as Yahushua is. As long as he's around, he says it's the day. You know, he said once he leaves, the night comes and the prince of this world comes. Just like the sun only comes out in the day. Yeah. And the moon comes out in the night with nocturnal animals. That's Esau. All right? Go ahead, bro. I think
all right, this is
Revelation 13.
All right, this is the book of Psalms 137 in verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundations thereof.
Right, they burned up, they wanted our place destroyed in 586 BC. And they even played a part and torched it down by the commands of Nebuchadnezzar, the Assyrian. All right, go ahead, brother.
O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed.
There you go, Esau. And that goes up to America, the daughter of Babylon. See that? They destroyed ours, so the Lord said he's going to destroy theirs.
Happy shall he be that reward of thee, as thou hast served us.
Right, so not only us, but these nations, they're going to give Esau their reward. These nations are going to give Babylon, America, its reward for putting us in slavery. You see that? And they're going to be happy. When they start shooting them missiles, they're going to take this place. The Lord going to be with them, just like he was with September Severus. They're going to be satisfied.
Happy shall he be that taketh and dash up thy little ones against the stone.
Right, and that goes into the kingdom. There's gonna be a lot of pimple popping in the kingdom. You know what I mean? And that's just it. All right, let's get back to this topic, yo. All right, where was that? Yeah, go ahead.
Just to go with brother scripture. The Psalms 50 and 16. But unto the wicked, Yahweh saith, what hast thou to do to curb my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth, seeing thou hatest instruction and castest my words behind thee? When thou sawest a thief, then thou contendest with him, and hast been partaker with adulterers.
That goes into Herod. All right, the Herodians, which were not even part of the Roman Empire. They were damn peasants that worked their way up in the ranks and was always jealous of our people and wanted to be Jews, man. And the Lord saying, what are you to take the Lord's words into your mouth? You know, when you really some damn heathens and demons. And they join up with each other to bring more hell on the nation of Israel. All right. So even he said what? Even to this day, America, they have taken the Bible and tried to use it, call themselves a God-fearing nation. Only to compete against the Russians that were atheists. See, America wanted to call themselves a God-fearing nation. That way they can get financial help and approval from the Roman Catholic Church. See that? So it's all a facade. It's all fake. So the Lord don't play fake, man. All right, go ahead, brother. Yep.
One verse to seal up the point.
Yeah, we can rock this.
In this verse 21, these things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Though doubtest that I was altogether such as one as thyself, but I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes.
Oh my goodness, man. Bro, can you read that again? That's crazy how it is.
These things hast thou done, and I kept silence.
Look at that. It's crazy. Don't the Lord call himself the invisible power? And the Lord kept silent. That shows what? Long suffering. That shows even more power. That shows patience. You know, the Lord has hid himself from man. You see that? He kept silence, man. All right, go ahead. Oh, what about? I think you got an interjection. You said. Interjection. All right, go ahead.
Oh, this is Isaiah 42 and 14. It says, I have long time holding my peace. I have been still and refrained myself. Now will I cry like a travailing woman. I will destroy and devour at once.
That's Yahweh Shah. All right, if it says what? He don't even know the time or the hour when the Lord goes send him. Yep. You know, so he gonna descend with a shout, a great shout.
Right, man, he gonna cry like a travailing woman. What's that? A woman that's in pregnancy and having a baby in pain. You know, so he basically saying he gonna snap. All right, Yahweh Shah said he gonna roar from heaven. All right, go ahead, brother. Finish this up.
That was it on Revelations 50.
Yeah. Now you can read it again. The other one, remember we were breaking it down.
In this Revelations, back in Psalms 50 and 21,
yep.
These things thou hast done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such a one as thyself.
Whoa, see that? That's what the Lord said. Well, who are you to take my word into your mouth? I'm not like y'all. There's no wickedness in the Lord. There's no darkness in the Lord, man. All right, he said, what? He thought he was like y'all? No, the Lord is righteous. All right,
and he a jig.
Yeah, and he a jig. He not like them. Yeah. You see that? He said, yo, you thought I was like you? You know, go ahead, brother.
But I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes.
So the Lord is reproving them first with his word and with his prophets. And the word reprove means to blame. So he's gonna put that blame on them. You see that? And he's gonna set them in order before his eyes, meaning what? The men of the Lord. The Lord is setting up his army as Yahweh is setting up the army for Yahweh Shai as he promised them. The dew of the morning will be there for you. You know, so he's setting us in order. Okay? Before their eyes, he said, what? I will prepare a table for you in the presence of your enemies. Go ahead, ask somebody. Yep. Whoever.
Jeremiah 49 and 12. But thus saith the Lord Yahweh Shai, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken, and art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished,
but thou shalt surely drink of it.
There you go. You're gonna surely drink of it. You see that? All this time, he's like, yo, where's the Lord? Well, the Lord been keeping silence, man. So he can build up, like I said, that backlog of their crimes, man. So the Lord can have a reason to judge them. You know, going way back.
Rap sheet real long.
Rap sheet real long, man. He said he's gonna follow them to the go with them into the grave.
Like a garment or something.
That's right. That's what, yeah. Come, bro. That's right, man. It's gonna take hold of them.
The book of Revelations, chapter 18, starting at verse 5. It says, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh have remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she has rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works, and the cup which she hath filled to her double.
So you got
And when it says for her sins have reached unto heaven, I brought it out to just further the brother point that the Lord has kept a rap sheet of all the sins and iniquities and atrocities, man, ultimately against the children of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And it says reward unto her double, because the same thing we got, they're gonna get 2 times worse, or 1,000 times worse.
right, man.
He said they cry at his night and day. How long?
That's right, man. I'm trying to look for this precept real quick.
That make it worse for Esau too. All right, his cries being heard. They getting bottled up. You know, like Abel crying in the Shemaims when he was slain by Cain. Right. All right. His brother's blood crieth unto the Lord. Man, that's why we give our testimony. You know, ultimately, hey, it's getting bottled up. It's getting tallied up.
Right. I can't find it right now, but I'll just do a lesson on it later. But he said thy bones are filled with the sins of thy youth. Right. Basically saying, he said he's gonna go down with them in the grave, meaning from all 2,000 years ago, since the Roman Empire or whatever, in the Greek Empire, the Lord has all of that from their youth, from when they were first started off and taking over everything. All right, the Greek Empire to the Roman Empire. And he says going to go down with them in the grave, meaning when they're destroyed. All right, all the way to the end. Right up.
This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 10.
Right, so the Lord's keeping the backlog, man. Their record.
Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people.
That's talking about America.
And hast sinned against thy soul.
Right, and against the house of Esau. All right, but mainly talking about America right there. All right. The mirth of this land is gone, the spirit of this place. And they have consulted shame to this house, the house of the thief. See, it became a thief. All right. By cutting off many people. Who did they cut off? They cut off the nation of Israel. They cut us off and put us in slavery. So the Lord said, yo, because you've done that, you have now signed up to be the hand of Esau, the staff of the wicked. You are Babylon. All right. He said, I will write upon you the line of what? The wickedness.
For the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it.
Right. So that means all the monuments, everything that was built in slavery is going to be a witness against these devils. You know, when Yahweh shows up, and it's going to be destroyed. All right. Let's get back to Revelation 13 real quick.
It's Revelation chapter 13, starting back at verse 3. It's like it, verse 2. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority.
Right, we broke down who that dragon was, going back to Herod in the Roman Empire. The same empire that established the Herodian dynasty, which was a bunch of Edomites that said they want to go back and rebuild the land of Edom. All right, so they came up against us, worked their way up into power, and Esau set them up as governors and rulers over our land. That's when you get the Herodian dynasty, all the way up until the time of Yahushua and Paul. All right, the last of the Herodian dynasty was Herod Agrippa. All right, so it goes back to what? The Roman Empire. That's the dragon. But today it's called what? The EU, NATO, and America. Well, basically the EU.
Verse 3. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death.
Whoa, so one of his heads that was back alive again, it was wounded. But it was wounded to death. All right, so It wasn't just wounded, it was wounded to death, meaning from that time of Septimius Severus going into the 2nd century all the way up until 410 AD, the wound started and then they died. He wounded him on the left leg, the western leg of the Roman Empire. All right.
And his deadly wound was healed.
Right, the Roman Empire. So it was healed really with the EU and America. Okay, the establishment of the EU, NATO, and through America. Okay,
And
the Treaty of Rome.
And all the world wondered after the beast.
Yep, go ahead.
And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast.
Everybody served the dragon. That's how those elites over there in Europe became the superpower. They call them, what they call them, the elites. You know, they call them something else too, though. They like the powers that be or something.
Lord this and Lord
that. Yeah, Lord this, yeah. The upper echelon, yeah, man. The high, yeah, you know. Go ahead.
And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast.
Right, the word worship means to submit. So they submitted to Europe. Go ahead.
And they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him?
Right, man. That's it. Water. So yeah, you know, so through their weapons, Esau was living out their blessing with the sword. So who was able to make war with them, man? Nobody. But Yahushua is, the Lord is a man of war. He got a plan in place, man. All right. So he said, what? It was wounded to death. 1,000-year period. All right. Starting with Septimius Severus. That goes into Revelation 20. All right. So let's get one more. You got something? Somebody got something?
Oh, I got one.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, this is Jeremiah 66 and 16 or 15. It says, for behold, the Lord will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. All right. So the Lord Yahweh is going to come back with vengeance, all right? To avenge his people and to also to bring destruction and judgment to the wicked. All right. It says the slain of the Lord shall be many, man. So this war is gonna be wet, man. You know. So that's the time that's the time that we coming into, man.
Right. The sword being wet, that represents a soldier. When they swing a sword, then at the house it's dry. But once they go to war, they wet their sword now. So the Lord's saying, yo, you keep tripping, that sword gonna be wet. You know? It's gonna be drenched in blood. All right, so he makes it basically saying that missile's gonna come down and destroy everything, man. It won't be drawn in vain. That's right. All right, we can get back to Revelation 20, and then we're gonna go to 2nd Ezra 11. Any other precepts, cool, and we wrap it up. Do some hydration and stuff.
All right, this is the book of Revelations, chapter 20. Let me start it from the top.
Yeah, come on, pop up for sure.
Verse 1. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit.
That's the same one from what's that? 17. Revelation 17. No, it's what is it? 9.
with 9.
9, right?
No,
not that one. No, not that one. Not that one. Oh, Revelation 6. I'm tripping. Yeah, verse 1.
This is Revelation chapter 6, verse 1.
All right, verse 1 and 2.
It says, and I saw when the Lamb opened up, so like it opened one of the seals.
Right, yep.
And I heard as it was the noise of thunder, one of the 4 beasts saying, come and see.
Yep,
and I saw.
The 4 beasts representing the angels on this one. The 4 archangels. Go ahead.
And I saw.
They look into the affairs of men. Go ahead, brother.
God. And behold, a white horse.
Right. The white horse represents Yahushua's chariot. Yahushua ruling in righteousness. Go ahead.
And he that sat on him had a bow.
Right. He got a bow. He got beams coming out. And that's the choice that the Father gave him to destroy these nations, meaning fire. All right. He got a beam that comes out of the chariot as well.
It says, and a crown was given unto him.
Right. So he actually went into the heavens and was given that crown already from the Father. He's been crowned already, according to Revelation 5. Go ahead.
And he went forth conquering and to conquer.
See that? So he was conquering even during the Roman Empire. All right? So he got crowned when Yahushua went to the heavens. And he's been ruling ever since. He's been going forth ever since that time, conquering these nations, man, ruling them until he physically shows up here on this earth, destroying them all in one blow. All right? That's why he said what? Put his head with many crowns? I don't think that's it. Is that it? Huh? Many crowns? King of Kings? Where is this at, man? 19 and 20. Yeah, come on, let's get that one.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 12.
Yep.
His eyes were a flame of fire, and on his heads were many crowns.
Oh, on his head. Oh, no, start from 11.
11?
Yeah, it goes to the same thing. This goes to the same breakdown as Revelation 6, right? Yeah, right, brother.
Revelations 19 and 11.
Yep.
And I saw heaven open up, and behold, a white horse.
Look at that white horse again. The chariot of Yahushua, the mountain. You know, that's spoken of in 2 Ezra 13. Go ahead, brother.
And he that sat upon him was called faithful and true.
You're right. So called, that's Yahushua, man. He's faithful to us. See that? And we're going to be calling him that. It's going to happen. We're going to say he is faithful. He was faithful to us. And he's true. He is not a lie. Go ahead.
And in righteousness he do judge.
He's going to judge in righteousness, man. Esau judging in wickedness. He said, I'm different than y'all.
And make war.
Right. And he's going to make war. That's the Lord. Scripture said the Lord is a man of war. So he's making war against these nations. He started with raising up his army. All right. That's it. That's right, man. Come on, brother. Any precepts?
Oh, I got one.
Yep. If not, we're going to keep going with 20. Yep. All right, go ahead. Let me know.
It's Isaiah chapter 43, verse 15.
Yep.
It says, I am the Lord, your Holy One, the Creator of Israel, your King.
Right,
That's
our king, man. Yahushua, we got a king, man. You know, we're a kingdom. He said that. Can't have a kingdom without a king.
It says, thus saith the Lord, which maketh a way in the sea and a path in the mighty waters.
Right, like the Red Sea, he's making a way, man. All right, against this flood that's coming against us now, Esau. The Lord is going to part it so we can walk right through it and be safe. Okay, go ahead.
Which bringeth forth the chariot and horse, the army.
It's like Satan being divided against Satan. Go ahead.
The army and the power, they shall lie down together. They shall not rise. They are extinct and they are quenched as told. So the point I was just bringing now is the Lord, he's going to bring these nations down, you know.
Right, and that path through the Red Sea, the Lord did that spiritually ever since he's been on the earth. He laid out a path for us all the way to today, okay, to the kingdom.
God, so he says
to the promised land.
God, he's gonna bring these nations down, and they're not gonna rise up again.
Never again. Never again, man. All right, they're gonna be putting crowns on their own heads like they did with Alexander and the Diadochi. All right, so they're gonna always have that one of their old thing back. They're gonna be in the kingdom still trying to make America great again. It ain't gonna never happen. I'll let them wear it. It ain't gonna never happen. Go ahead, bro.
This is Job chapter 20, verse 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short.
Right, it's short, man. That little season. You see that? It seemed like a long time to us because we've died, come back to this earth, over and over again. But think about it in the mind of a God, in the mind of our future, which is eternity. This is just a short period of time.
And the joy of the hypocrite, but for a moment.
Right, and their joy, let them have their joy. The hypocrite, man. Right? The hypocrite, that's Esau. Let them have their joy. It's only for a moment in time. See that? It's a moment in time, man. When you look back on it, it's just gonna be like a nightmare. That was it. Like you went to sleep one night, woke right back up. All right, like a blink of an eye. All right, so we got more on that, Revelation 20?
Yeah, let's go to
Let's keep reading that topic.
All right, this is back at Revelation chapter 20, the verse of 1.
Yep.
In a great chain in his hand.
Right, that chain goes on part of the body, not the whole body, you know, most of the time. Meaning the Lord bound up part of the Roman Empire using Septimius Severus. All right, go ahead.
And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent.
Right, the Roman Empire of Edomites, right, that old serpent going way back. Go ahead.
Which is called, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years.
Right, so Esau is letting you know that Esau is that devil, the deceiver, and Satan, meaning adversary to the Lord, man, the enemy, the contender that the Lord is showing up to contend against, man. All right, so don't be on the side of the contender, Esau. You want to be on the side of Yahushua.
And cast him into the bottomless pit.
Right, cast him into it. You know, basically brought him down, man, brought him to a low degree. All right, just like the Lord said, he's going to cast the Roman Empire, the Roman Catholic Church, he's going to cast them into the lake of fire. He's not going to physically take them and bring them over here and put them in the fire. He's talking about he's going to destroy their power over here in the lake of fire. All right, just let it crawl. It's cool. All right, so he's going to destroy their power over here in the lake of fire. What's that? The Roman Catholic Church, all these churches, all the spirits that leaped out of the mouth of the dragon. The military, he's going to destroy all of it. And the banking, all right, the bank. So that's going to be destroyed in the lake of fire. That's their power over here, man.
The scriptures also say that the wicked should be turned into hell.
There you go. They're going to be turned into it. You know, yep, come on, brother. Yep, from that point, they're going to lift up their eyes in hell.
God.
On this earth. Right,
and shut him up and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more.
Right, so not only a chain, and not only did he shut them up, meaning shut them down, made them silence in the earth, lost their power, right? Like the seas, he said, why did the heathen rage? He stopped them from raging. And then he put a seal on them. And that was around 410 AD. He shut them down. It was done. All right? Go ahead.
Till the 1,000 years shall be fulfilled, and after that he must be loose a little season.
Yeah, so after that, after the 12th century AD, Esau has been loosed, running amok off the chain on this earth. A wild man. That's why the Lord called him wild, man, the wild beast. All right, that's what NATO called the beast. It's wild, it's unruly. All right. Got interjection? Go ahead, bro.
This is Malachi 1 and 4.
You got one?
So Malachi 1 and 4.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build a desolate places. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness.
Right,
and, and the people against whom the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai, have indignation forever.
Right, yeah, we already brought that out, but that's on point. It come back around again.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the Lord has indignation against them forever. That's the point now. That's why it's coming out again now, because the Lord wants us to know, hasn't it been like damn near forever? The Lord, like, I'm trying to show y'all, I hate them.
It's time to tear it down again.
It's time to tear it down.
That's what I'm like. That's what I'm doing. They built it up again, now it's time to tear it back down.
Right, yeah, we already went through that though. Yep. Go ahead, bro.
In the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 9.
Yep.
And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
There you go. They're gonna be cast out of rulership. That's it. They're gonna be cast down to the earth again, to the bottomless pit. You see that? They're gonna be brought back down over there in Europe or the Caucasus Mountains or wherever. You know, hold on, where they ran to?
Petra.
Yeah, Petra. You know, that's not the Caucasus Mountains. Two different things. All right. So they're gonna be brought back into the caves, man. You know, and even that they're gonna lose that as well. The cave's gonna be empty after 1,000 years because Esau gonna be taken off the earth. All right. The Lord gonna have a bonfire. You know, Jake like barbecue. Right, no, Esau gonna have wildfire, so the Lord gonna have a wildfire. Good, bro.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 19. I'm gonna jump down to one verse. It says, "But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch."
Right, so Esau is gonna be cast out of their rest like an abominable branch, man. Go ahead.
Done. And it says, "And as the raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with a sword that
right.
go."
No, you good. Cause can you start that again?
Done, verse 19.
The correct way. Did somebody get that?
I go to verse 18.
Yeah, good.
Done. This is Isaiah 14 and 18. "All the kings of the nations, even all of them lie in glory, every one in his own house."
Right, this is in the kingdom. In Yahushua's kingdom, after some time, the Lord is going to give some form of living to these other nations on the earth. You know, like the Africans, the Arabs, and all of them, after they get their ass kicked for a certain amount of time. All right? And they're going to be happy that we're in power. Go ahead, brother.
"But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch."
So they're going to be cast out of Edom. They're going to be cast out of the earth. All right? Out of their power seat. You see that?
"And as the raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with a sword that go down to the stones of the pit."
Right, man. So, yep, of the remnant, which is just like a dirty rag. A filthy rag that's not important, man. You know?
"As a carcass."
My bad. You can start 2 verses back. I got to break this down. Yep, 1 verse back, I mean.
I'm going to start at 16. 14.
Yep. Yep.
Isaiah 14 and 14. He will ascend above the heights of the clouds. He say, he will be like the Most High. He said, "Gone."
Right, they said that, yep.
Gone.
They have come from the lowest degree of being cavemen all the way up to saying they're going to be like the Most High, man. The top, you know, the top power. Go ahead.
"Yet they shall be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit."
Yep. Let me interject, yo. So he's going to be brought down to what? To hell. What's that? To the ground. All right, so they're going to be brought down to the ground. Okay? To the sides of the pit. So that goes all the way up to Europe. All right, from America to Europe is going to be destroyed.
"They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee."
Right, so why? Those that see him, meaning these nations and us, what do he say? Esau going to lift up his eyes in hell, talking to Jake, Israel, Lazarus. And they're going to see him. They're going to see him in slavery. They're going to say, what?
"And consider thee, saying, Is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness?"
That's a desert, man. A dry place. Go ahead, brother.
"And destroyed the cities thereof."
They destroyed cities, man. They destroyed the earth. They destroyed the earth. Go ahead.
"That opened not the house of his prisoners."
Right. They make money off their prisoners. They gain interest off their prisoners. Go ahead, brother. They, you know, even slaves.
"All the kings of the nations, even all of them lie in glory."
Right. So all of them gonna get some form of living, go back to their lands, you know, but they're gonna be under us. Go ahead, brother.
"Everyone in his own house."
See that? You know, they're gonna go back to those lands they were from.
Verse 19.
They're gonna be moving around, traveling wherever the hell they want, like they do today.
"But thou art cast out of thy grave."
Yeah, right. Because Esau gonna be in the pits, man. Esau gonna be in the pits, and they're gonna get visited at the long time. The Lord said they're gonna be visited in those pits, and then they're gonna be wiped off the earth, man. After 1,000 years, they're gonna be burned, man.
"Like an abominable branch."
Like an abominable branch, like something that's just rotten. You know, it's just fall to the ground and you cast it away.
"And as the raiment of those that are slain."
Right, as the raiment of them that are slain, man. Meaning the remnant, all right, of Esau. The remnant of Esau is going to fall just like the ancient Edomites should have fell. All right, go ahead.
thrust through with a sword that go down to the stones of the pit.
Right, so they're gonna be thrust through with a sword. I mean, that's comparison. That's an analogy. Saying it's like he was thrust through, like somebody walked into the, they dug a ditch and they fell into the grave that they dug, man, like the mob used to do. Make you dig your own grave. And he got thrust through with a sword and pushed down into the grave to die there. All right, that's gonna be them in our kingdom. When we get lifted up in heaven and they're in hell, in the grave in a sense, right? You know, and that's just it.
Lazarus, we gonna be in Lazarus' bosom.
Come, brothers. And we're gonna watch them die out. You know, they're gonna bleed out. You know what I'm saying? Suffering.
We're watching the start of that now.
We're watching the start of it, yep.
Hey, you see that with children today. You know, like you have a newborn babe, she in the bosom of the mother, and then you got an adolescent that's near the age of the same sex genre that might be jealous. They playing the jealous game. That little baby got that natural look when she on that swaddling on the bosom, like, you know, she's in rest. She's at rest. And that little adolescent child just looking, you know, because she's probably too old to be on the breast no more.
Jealous
she can't get that same. Yeah. That
what
same
about me?
love. Yeah. What about me?
That's Esau, man. They became the accuser of their brethren.
Saw them with tears.
That's right. Saw them with tears. Yep. But what did the Lord say to Abel? No, Cain, I mean. You know, if you gave the right sacrifice, I would deal with you. You know, the God is the God of the whole earth, man. But he chose Israel. Don't be mad at us. The Lord chose Israel. Right? Where was that? They're gonna finish this up. I'm gonna close it out.
Verse 19, that go down to the stones of the pit as a carcass try to under feet.
Right, so they ain't gonna just fall to the ground. They're gonna go under the ground. They're going low. You know, to the bottom of the stones of the pit. like the lowest of the low. The Lord we was low in slavery, but they're gonna go lower than that. We don't even know what that is. What the hell is that? Like, we don't even know. We ain't so much. We ain't, you know. See, what they gonna eat? They're deep, man. Dirt. Like dirt. It's gonna be like that.
Verse 20. Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial.
Right. So they ain't gonna be joined with them in the rest. All right. Not in the rest, but in the sense of being destroyed as a nation. You know, all these nations that have been in power this whole time, that rest, that burial is like a destroyed sense. All right. And so in their destroyed sense in our kingdom, Esau is not going to be a part of it. The Lord saying, I got a specific judgment for you. Go ahead, brother.
Because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people.
There you go, man. All right, so they slain their people, which was who? Jacob. All right, that's it. All right, what's that?
All right, back at Revelations, chapter 20 and verse 4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them.
Right, it's coming, man. We're gonna be sitting on thrones. It's coming, man. This that time. Go ahead. I'm gonna stop your life.
And judgment was given unto them.
Right, so the Lord is about to judge. All right, we in that time. So where the Lord is sitting on the throne, man, he's a black man. Okay.
And
let's get that. Revelation 20 and 11. Let's get that.
20 and 11.
Yeah.
All right, this is Revelation chapter 20, verse 11. And I saw a great white throne, and in him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heavens fled away. And there was found no place for them.
Right, they try to ride up to the stars. They're trying to hide in the earth. There's nowhere for them to hide, man. The Lord gonna find you. He said, "What? Search out the wicked till you find none." So they're gonna be searched out all over the earth. All the abominations they built, every last single Edomite gonna be searched out by the Lord and his men and the angels. All right, and they ain't gonna have nowhere to run from the Lord's judgment. See that? So that's the one sitting on the throne. All right, you want to keep going?
Verse 12. And I saw the dead, small and great, before Yahweh.
Right, that's right here on the earth. Go ahead.
And the books were open.
Right, the books are open before the firmament. That way you get the internet, right? That's where satellites are at. Go ahead, brother.
In an other book was opened, which is the book of life.
Okay, Salaki. So that's talking about the Lord's book. All right, you got the Lord. The Lord got a book for judgment to death. He got a book for judgment to life. Go ahead, brother.
And the dead were judged out of those things.
Right. So 2/3 of our people are going to remain in the congregation of the dead. And these other heathen nations, the Lord going to judge them with that side of the book. Go ahead.
Which were written in the book according to their works.
See that? So they're written according to their works. So the Lord wrote their story according to their works. So they got a story now. You can't just put a battery or create the Energizer Bunny without putting the battery in his back and giving the movement a table to walk on. All right, go ahead.
And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them.
Yep, go ahead. So the elect waking up, right? Go ahead. And the Lord, basically everything coming to the surface, where the Lord like this down, puts the goats to the left, the sheep to the right. Go ahead.
And they were judged every man according to their works.
Yeah, that was it, period. According to their works.
Yeah, that was a period.
All right, that's it. We'll go back to the other chapter. Where was that? Revelation 20.
All right, this is back at Revelations chapter 20.
That's right. So they were judged according to their works, man. So we praying to be judged according to our works. All right, this works. 2/3 of our people, their work, but they built up America. They built up Esau's dream this whole time. All right. So they're gonna be judged according to that, especially these devils, according to their works, what they did on this earth. All right, go ahead, brother.
All right, this is back at Revelation chapter 20, verse 4.
Yep.
And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua.
There you go. See that? The same ones that were beheaded during the time of Yahushua, they're going to be back here on this earth getting their judgment, which is the reward for what they sacrificed. All right? They're going to be written in the book of life. That's why Paul said, from henceforth, a crown of life is laid up for me. Okay? So that's not talking about now. We're praying for the Lord to protect us now, not to have us beheaded. All right?
And for the word of the Most High, in which had not worshipped the beast.
Right, so it's right. They're not going to worship the beast in these times. Okay? The same ones back then that gave up their life and believed in Yahushua, they're back here on this earth and they're not going to worship that beast, which is Esau and their system, and the MOTB and all that. All right, but
neither.
They were sitting on thrones, man. So John saw this. He saw it in a vision. The same ones back then that he saw get their heads cut off, he saw them same ones sitting on thrones now.
Neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads.
Come on, man. So these brothers, most of you people out there, the men, women, and children that believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, you're not going to fall for their system that they're creating, their new world order. You see that Esau, the Roman Empire, America, the beast, you know? Look at their track record, man. The Lord like, yo, what's up? You know? How could you love that? How would you want to be on that side of the wall, that side of the table? I don't care how rich he is, how wealthy he is, what they can offer you. The devil can offer gifts too.
Or in their hands, and they live and reign with Hamashiach 1,000 years.
Right, so we're gonna reign in the kingdom, usher in the kingdom for 1,000 years, and after that, so that's that 1,000 years, and after that 1,000 years, Esau is gonna be what? Eradicated. Thus saith the Lord. All right, so that's that ushering in of the kingdom. Okay, good, keep on. So now, this book Revelation jumps around. Now it's going back to the original story from the beginning again. Go ahead.
But the rest of the dead live not again until the 1,000 years were finished.
Right, so that so that goes into what we was talking about. Yeah, so if you want to know when these nations gonna get that type of rulership, or not rulership, but some form of living, you know, status, these other nations in the kingdom. That's right, man. So they're gonna get some form of living Some type of form. You can put it back down. So some form of living in the kingdom. They're gonna have some type of status under us. All right, it's gonna be better than Esau. But when is that gonna happen? Is it gonna happen as soon as we get in the kingdom? No, they're gonna be getting their ass whooped for 1,000 years with Esau. Go ahead, go on, brother. That's right, man. They're gonna be building and working. But what? He said what? They're not gonna what?
But the rest of the dead live not again until the 1,000 years were finished.
That's right, man. We gotta get ours first. We're gonna be living it up like Ja Rule. All right, go ahead. He probably a bad rapper to bring up.
This is the first resurrection.
There you go. That's the first resurrection of the nation of Israel. See that? And then after that, the second resurrection would be 2/3 being born again. Okay. So having part in the first resurrection would be the elect being established. And resurrected means standing up again on this earth. The tabernacle of David. All right. And Yahushua, the temple. Got any more? That's right. Quick injection. Oh, there's more on that. Yeah. Oh, we already read it. The judgment.
It's Obadiah 1:18. Well, I started Obadiah 1:17. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble.
Right, man. So that's in the kingdom. And we're going to possess their possessions. That goes into Amos chapter 9. You know, so everything in Esau, even their land, they're going to lose it. We're going to possess their lands, okay? All right, go ahead.
And they shall kindle in them.
Right, so kindle means to what? Like a police officer, hotly pursued. We're going to be on the pursuit. Why? Because the Lord going to get a green light. He's going to say, get them. Go get them. This is it. Today is the day. I'm tired of seeing them.
And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken.
See that, man? So as we see in the Lord breaking the staff of the wicked, bringing America into trouble prior to Jacob's trouble, you know, breaking down Esau's system over there in Europe with the Brexit and such, raising up these nations of the dead, which would be like Russia and China and Iran and Africa and Turkey against America and the European Union. You see that? It's beautiful, man. It's all according to prophecy. The same way the Lord raised up Septimius Severus from 193 to 198, going into 200, all the way up to 211. He kept them there for 1,000 years, man. Kept them bound in that position. They couldn't do anything. They tried to raise themselves up. They couldn't. All right. So for 1,000 years, all the way up until the 2nd century or 12th century AD, it's around the 1266. All right. Going up to the 1400s, where they put their system of racism in place. All right. Yeah, kind of. Look at 2nd Ezra 11.
It's the book of Judges, chapter 2 and 16. Nevertheless, the Lord raiseth up judges, which delivered them out of the hand of those that spoiled them. So just like in the ancient times of old, before you had the prophets on the scene, the Lord used to raise up judges like Samson. Right? That'll be just one man that he'll use in his way, in his fashion, his will, like he did Severus, Septimius Severus.
Right, brother.
Yep. He's been doing.
He's been doing. He's been ruling in the kingdom of men. That's how he ruled, man. He ruled in the God level, not a man level. He's a God, man. All right. Yeah, Yahushua is.
2nd Ezra, chapter 11 and verse 39. Art not thou it that remaineth of the 4 beasts?
Can you carry it over there closer to him?
Whom I made to reign.
Hold on, wait for him to bring that.
This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 11 and verse 39. Yep. Are not thou it that remaineth of the 4 beasts, who are made to reign in my world?
Right, so that's Yahushua saying, come on with it. He's saying, yo, no, you can just turn it. I want to keep it towards him for the reading. But just turn it towards me and back to him. But he said, yo, art thou
the remainers of the 4 beasts?
Yeah, art thou it that remaineth of the 4th beast? What's that? The Roman Empire. We read in Daniel chapter 7 and Daniel chapter 2. Well, Daniel chapter 7, really, the 4th beast. All right, the Roman Empire. Go ahead.
Whom I made to reign in my world.
Right, so the Lord made them to reign in this world, man. This is mine. It's his, man. Yahushua.
That the end of their times might come through them.
right? That the end of the times might come through who? Esau. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. So the end time is coming through Esau, not Ishmael, not Africans, nobody. Not the Assyrians, the Babylonian Empire. No, it's coming through Esau's empire.
And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past.
See? So the Roman Empire came and overcame all of the former beasts, the Persians, the Assyrians, the Greeks, the Egyptians. It took over everything.
And had power over the world with great fearfulness.
Right, they had power over the world with great fearfulness. And what's the main thing that Esau used in the day to control the world? Fear. You see that? So they pushed the fear button, and that goes all the way back to the Roman Empire. That scheme, that trick that they used. All right? But the Lord said he did not give us the spirit of fear. You know, he gave us the spirit of hope. Go ahead, up.
And over the whole compass of the earth,
right,
with much wickedness.
Over the whole compass, can you read that again?
And over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression.
Right, with much, come on, man. What do you say?
Over the whole compass of the earth.
Compass. What's the compass? North, east, west, and south. You see that? With much wickedness.
Wicked oppression.
Wicked oppression, man. What do we call them in slavery? Massa, which means what? Oppressor. All right, they're oppressing because what? Pressure from below, from above is pressure below. Let you know that they're the rulers right now, the ruling class. Go ahead.
In so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit.
Yeah, they dwelt upon the earth with deceit, man. The Roman Empire, the Greek Empire. Go ahead, even to this day.
For the earth hast thou not judged for truth with truth, for thou hast afflicted the meek.
That's right. They're the judges. They became the rulers of the earth. And they have not judged in righteousness. They set up policies, wicked policies. They put out abominations such as their currencies, you know, and were unforgiving to us. Well, not even forgiving to us. They weren't merciful to us. All right. They showed nothing but hatred towards us, man. And they were the Lord said what? There's no more vain person as Esau. A profane, meaning wicked.
Thou hast hurt the peaceable.
Right, so thou hast hurt the meek, the peaceable, which is Israel. Right?
Thou hast loved liars.
Right, they love, that's like the wolf protecting the wolf. If you lie, they love you, man. They love politicians.
And destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, and has cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm.
Right, so that's Jacob. All right, they cast down their walls, and the ones that brought forth fruit was Israel. All right, so they cast us down. See that? And they bless the covetous. And they honor wicked men like Alexander. They honor wicked men like Trajan, who's a pedophile. They call him one of the greatest Roman emperors. He was a pedophile. Come on, man.
Verse 43. Therefore is thy wrongful dealings come up unto the highest, and thy pride unto the mighty. The highest also.
Well, he said the pride of Esau has deceived thee. The Esau is deceived, man. All right. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 44. The highest also have looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended.
Right, yo. So the Lord is looking upon Esau's time. He said, what? He appointed their bound. Yeah, no, let's get that real quick. Hold on 1 second, brother. Yep. Yeah, I'll try to get to it. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
This is the book of Job, chapter 14, verse 5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass.
That's right, man. That's right. So the Lord has appointed it. He already set it in place. He set the beginning and the end of Esau. And when Esau get all the way up to that end, the Lord gonna look. It's like watching the microwave. You don't want something to burn too long. You know, all right, it's time. Bing! Or the Lord, really, the focus is on Jacob. It's like the Lord watching the silver or gold in the fire. If you go too long past that curing point, or what's it called, purifying, it's gonna tarnish. You know, be over afflicted. All right. You know, the furnace of adversity. So the Lord gonna pull us out of that furnace before it's too late.
And the righteous shall scarcely be saved.
Scarcely be saved. It's gonna be quick. Everybody's gonna be quick.
This devil wearing out the saints of the Most High.
That's right, brother. Yeah, man. That's right. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 44 of 2 Kings chapter 11. The highest also have looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended, and his abominations are fulfilled. And therefore appear no more thou eagle, nor thy horrible wings, nor thy wicked feathers, nor thy malicious heads, nor thy hurtful claws, nor all thy vain body.
Right. So don't appear the feathers, which is the senators, the Senate, the Congress, the heads, which is like the Augustus, the presidents, and all of them, and these elites over there. The Lord saying it's not going to appear anymore. It's going to be destroyed, man. All right. The feathers of the bird, the eagle, which is the Roman Empire. The Lord says, yeah, America, since you want to exalt yourself as the eagle, like just like the Roman Empire, you want to go exalt yourself, Esau, so proudly and so high in the world, the Lord gonna bring them down.
Verse 46, that all the earth may be refreshed and may return, being delivered from thy violence, and that she may hope for the judgment and mercy of him that made her.
Come on with it, man. And that's what we're hoping for, man. All right, we're hoping for the mercy and the judgment of the one that made us. All right, and that they're not gonna be able to destroy the earth no more, like they did in the Roman Empire, man. But that's the understanding of the 1,000-year period dealing with Septimius Severus. All right, really going from the 2nd century all the way until the 12th century AD, 1,000 years later. And that's when they came out of the Europe, of the mountains, which they were ran into, and then they came back down all the way up until the 1400s. All right, that's when you have what's his name? Christopher Columbus sailing the ocean blue, and Queen Isabella and Ferdinand sending out conquests to go over and take over the foreign slaves because of the racism, race trade that was started in 1488 with the Roman Empire. So yeah, man, that's it, man. We're gonna end it there. And if you want to study into it, just look up Septimius Severus, in 193 AD. Okay, and you can start with Nerva, which, mind you, some people think that Trajan was a Jake, but he wasn't. All right, Trajan was not a Jake. He was an Edomite. They were not from the same family. Nerva adopted Trajan. Okay, so he could be like the next ruler. And then you had Hadrian, which went against the Jews in the last battle of Bar Kokhba, which is the last revolt against Esau. You see that? So he was an Edomite. And then you had his zesty lover, he ruled next. And then you have Pertinax. After Pertinax died and was killed by the Praetorian Guard, that stirred up Septimius Severus to avenge his death, which also the Lord baited Septimius Severus all the way through to the Byzantine Empire, chasing that Praetorian Guard, baiting them all along, all the way up to Egypt. All the way up to Syria, and then brought him back the other way, man. All right. Thus, you have the conquest of Septimius Severus, Nerva, and later on with Constantine the Great. All right. So we're gonna end it there, man. Everybody got any precept? All right, come. So we're gonna end it there, man. Hopefully we're edified, taking some notes and stuff like that. Hey, please share, subscribe. You know what I mean? Don't sit here and eat the pie for yourself. Share it. All right. You want to say call? Alayim. La. Yahweh. Ba'ashem. Yahweh Shai. Ba'ashem. Ha. Rakah. Kodash. Ma'amah. All right, double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. And shalom to you, Akim, and Akwat, to the children that still believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth, man. We almost out of here, man. All right. Hopefully give you more encouragement and more reason to believe. All right, shalom.